long show today, which I know the people love. We're going to give you as much chatter as we possibly can. We got a lot of good stuff from Ben Griffin, the Bob Does Sports guys. We're joined by Beef yet again, live here in Arizona for the Phoenix Open. It's all brought to you by Chevy, our presenting sponsor for a couple years now. They are just fantastic with their Equinox EV, the 2025 Equinox EV LT. It's got a starting price around $34,995. Your pricing may vary as dealers set the final price. It's got the best in-class 17.7-inch diagonal standard touchscreen display. You should check it all out at Chevy.com/Equinox EV. They got product info, lease offers, amazing deals for this amazing show right here.
Yeah, an absolutely great company, and we say it all the time. Very thankful for all that they do for us, and we hope that people go and check out Chevrolet on the website and make sure that you're building out all your specs and your trims, because you always need a new car, and everyone's always talking about that lease stopping or the old cars needs you got to stop repairing it. It's like bringing an old dog to a vet. At some point, you just gotta call it quits.
Wow.
You gotta get that new shiny one. Not to bring this into like a scary morbid area, but
we're here together.
We are.
It's one of those things, man. You just need a new car. You just need new cars, man. Sorry about them dogs, but you just need a new car.
At Chevy.com/Equinox EV.
Those vet bills just start to really add
I
up.
think we end the analogy now.
$1,000 to check the blood. It's like 14 years old, man.
Chevy.com.
Equinox EV. That's Chevy.com/Equinox EV. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
I'm definitely not putting my golf skills to the line to save me from going to a prison for a year. That's not on the list.
You gotta think about the money, Joe. Think about the money, not the jail.
Fore-play, presented by Barstool Sports. We're back again live from Scottsdale. We got Ben Griffin and the Bob Does Sports boys on this very podcast, live from the DraftKings Sportsbook, which, we did a cool segment last show about betting. I saw a lot of people tailing that Sahith Theegala top 10. I think a lot of guys on this show did. DraftKings sponsor this show, so that sportsbook they have right there is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it's really great. Quite the location. It's right on the outside of TPC Scottsdale. Beef, Trent, and myself, we had quite the route to the DraftKings Sportsbook yesterday.
Yeah, Google it was crazy.
You guys didn't know it was right there?
Well, we did. We knew where it was, but we were coming from this house, which we're 25 minutes away. And Alex Bush sent us the address, which we plugged in. And we're driving down this road. We see that spear. There's a huge red blue spear. I guess they call it the middle of the valley or something like that.
Yep, like that hole on TGL. The spear.
Yeah. And you have to make a U-turn, and then it says get onto this right. You have to make a right, and the visuals look as though it is a highway that you're getting on. It's like you kind of veer right, and you're going on this highway. So the first time we go to make this right, there's just this parking lot that looks like it's the entrance to an evacuated zone.
It looks like a construction zone.
Yeah,
it looks like a service entrance almost.
Yeah, it was lights hitting these white tents. I'm like, someone is being quarantined. They have a monkey that has a new version of COVID in there. Frankie's
brain refused to let him take a right there.
So I was like, "There's no way that's the right." We're trying to go to the DraftKings Sportsbook. That is not the route to get there. So we just blew by it. Then the next, it'll just reroute us. It said to make another U-turn and go back to that road. So we end up doing it. We make this right. We see this guy, the security guy, who's just stoned out of his mind.
Canadian tuxedo.
He's like, "What's up, guys?" He's like, "You guys trying to get somewhere?" We're trying to go to the DraftKings Sportsbook. He's like, "All right," and just let us go through. Little did we know that we have now entered the backside of the golf course. So it's Waste Management Phoenix Open Week. We're driving this huge boat-sized car, this rental car, massive Chevy, and we're driving it down this road. To my left is the 14th hole.
Yep.
With no barriers. If I wanted to just make a left, I'm just on the fairway, driving right into the water, 14, 15, 16. We're going around golf carts. People are driving golf carts with no lights on them. Trent's screaming, "Golf cart!" It was
scary.
We were driving down the cart path.
It's essentially the
on
road.
Our way to the DraftKings Sportsbook, and Google Maps was telling us to make lefts and right.
Google Maps you're doing great.
Google Maps was
you're on point.
Google Maps was make a right at 14, go around the 15th green. This is what Google Maps was saying verbally.
Yeah, and we were essentially on the road because at one point you're right next to the 16th hole. There's a huge build out. Everybody knows what it looks like. we're on the road where they like deliver the beer and the food to. Like all these carts can go back there and do that. We're just in a huge Chevrolet back there for some reason. And then at one point we got to the end and we're like, hopefully this just spits us out somewhere where we can get out. And the guy is, we saw a security guard and we asked him and he's like, I would take it right here because if you go up a little bit further, you're just going to hit the turnstiles where people enter the tournament. So
just the main
we're like, we
walk-in.
don't want to be there. We're in a car, but mind you.
It was
let's get out of here.
6 o'clock at night. It was pitch black. We had no idea where we were going. So, luckily this security guard let in a couple of, law-abiding citizens. But had you not, the tournament is over. Like, over. I could have ruined that golf course if I had some sort of, like, messed up brain.
We're going to need tighter security at that spot, wherever that is.
We could have planted any, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, we had the golf course to ourselves.
That's unacceptable.
It was unacceptable.
Nope,
There's
can't
stories
have that.
about this happening at other courses. I remember there was that one at Wingfoot before the U.S. Open. The lady just drove onto the green and
She like,
ruined
ruined a couple greens.
Yeah, she
Remember that?
ruined it like the Wednesday before the U.S. Open during COVID. She just like made the wrong turn, got nervous as she was driving down these hills, and just started like spinning out on greens.
And the
I
other
guess I'll do
surprising
some donuts on these
Yeah.
greens right here.
The other surprising thing is it just took us to get past one security
One guy.
guard. There was no other like
One
future
car.
checkpoint. Like
And also calling him a security guard is giving him a little too much credit.
Yeah.
Nice guy, but he was just like,
It's
come
like
on
I was
in
told
here.
to sit in this chair and just let any card through.
Security nor guard is accurate for this man. It
Long
sounds
story
like.
short, we got to the DraftKings Sports.
Yeah, great spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely great spot. Good vibes in there. Obviously, all the huge TVs, all the bays to be able to place your bets.
That's where I watched the Tyson fight.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time for that.
Yeah, we had a good time. Ben Griffin, Bob Does Sports. Great to talk to everybody. It was fun. We had a good time.
We have a Keegan Bradley match is out on the internet right now. You can watch the full version. We're at iconic Torrey Pines, one of Tiger Woods' favorite golf courses in the world. A lot of Torrey Pines coming up this stretch of the year because they're playing there again next week. They're going to have a bunch of the top players. Rory, Tiger, everybody's playing next week. Well, hopefully Tiger's playing. He usually plays. But Torrey Pines, iconic. We had never played the North Course before and never done anything on the North Course. So we played a 9-hole match with Mac Boucher, the slinger, who's a super nice guy, Canadian fella.
Yep.
Out there, and we played a shamble, which I don't know that we've put out a video of us playing a shamble before, but you take the best drive of the 4 of us because Mac was on our team, and then you got to play your own ball in from there. So it is basically a scramble off the tee, which helps, and then from there it's not a scramble. It's just playing your own ball in against Keegan, and it was a great match. He's the Ryder Cup captain. Beth Page, a lot of chatter, kind of a great interview plus golf. It was nice.
It's a great video. We've always been around Keegan. It was nice to get him on the channel and get a video done, especially with everything that's going on, like you're saying, with the with him being the captain and Beth Page, and we have all those connections. So, what do you guys say? Nothing. Are you trying to like puke up gravy?
Question for you guys here with obviously the Tiger news this past week, his mother passing away.
Yeah,
If he
rest
does
in
play
peace.
next week at Torrey and he wins, what happens?
Yeah, it's like one of those
Waterworks.
tragedy
I mean-
games. Like that's like teams usually step up for their city if something happens, right? Like
Well,
You
what
remember
was
Vegas?
his-
The first year of Vegas ever
Yeah.
existing was right after the horrible shooting
Yeah.
in Vegas. That was their first year ever, and it was like, I mean, they ended up losing in the finals, but it is those types of, you almost, there's something special going
Well, what
on.
was his first major after his dad passed?
He missed the cut at Wingfoot by 1 million, and he was all pissed off, and he took like a whole month off, came out, and won when he only hit like one driver the whole week at Hoylake.
That's what I was thinking
And
of.
Stevie
'cause
Williams,
I can picture him crying.
Yep, Stevie Williams talks about how he just was not expecting that long, elongated crying hug from Tiger afterwards. He was like, everything was totally normal, and Tiger putted out, won, and then he hugged me, and then he just wouldn't let go, and he was crying. He's like, I've never seen that out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super sad. I mean, Tiger's had, quite the life, and I think his parents were like the only normalcy for him, even though there's a lot of things said about like his upbringing and how it was a little bit different and a little bit more regimented, and he didn't have the most normal life. I think that for him, for Tiger Woods, once he became the most popular person in the world, the only things he did have was his family, and now, I think he was super tight with his mom. She's the reason he wears red. He told that story to our guy Carson Daly.
I think it's
on the
very
TV
much
show.
too. It was like his mom was the one that really like took him to tournaments and stuff all the time. So it was
Yeah.
like car rides late at
Everything.
night, early in the morning.
She got him the new a new head cover every time he won. And that's how he got the Tiger.
It was surprising because she was in a lot of the clips from their TGL match last
That's right.
week, where it was like she was responding to some of the stuff he was doing and laughing and having a good time.
Drinking a Diet Coke, like the clips are insane. She's
Yeah.
lively, like laughing. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened, and obviously it's sad, but thoughts and prayers to the whole Woods family. Not the easiest life for our guy Tiger.
No,
It has not been the easiest
It's really
run.
not.
that man's
Not at
lived a
all.
lot of lives for 49. Is that what he is? 48?
Something like that.
48 years old or so?
It's young to lose your parents, you know.
Yeah.
He's not old. Like Tiger's not an old man.
No, he's not. 49?
He's
So
49
yes,
years
he's not
old.
50 years old yet. And, you know, both his parents are gone. It's incredibly sad. But yeah, she seemed to be an absolute badass of a woman, and all the stories he
Yeah.
tells is where he got his fire from. He said that's where he gets his emotions on the golf course from. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he kind of handles things going forward. But you're right, Beef. If he shows up next week and wins at Torrey Pines, that could be incredibly emotional scene.
Yeah, yeah. And I think obviously, right, we're all rooting for him to just go out there and have fun and try to make the best of it.
Rooting
And
for him every
just
week, every day.
the
Whether he's
ball in the
pumping
hole.
gas, getting groceries, playing golf.
I mean, even him
We're
just
rooting for that
playing
man.
golf at this point, it's like emotional for Tiger fans. Just seeing him out there competing, let alone playing out there, like playing for your deceased mother would be something that I don't even know we'd be able to handle.
The game looks good, too.
It does look good.
You know, like it's a little hard to tell. It's the PNC, but like they almost won the PNC. He and Charley, they should have won if that cheating fucker wasn't out there. By the way, I heard from his team they want to do something.
Bernhard Langer.
Bernhard Langer's team wants to
next
play a
week.
match.
I
I
want-
said absolutely.
We'll play him from the front tees.
Yeah. How do you like it,
I
old man?
I should have said depends on what tees we
I think the
play.
first thing I would say to him is, "Are you embarrassed?"
He beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, of course.
He'd punch you right in the stomach
What
and just
a
wail on
I
you.
need that match because like we don't have many matches where there's like animosity in it, and I think that we need to hold that animosity like within that match. Like
We're not good at that though.
We have to
We
though.
cave
Like we
every time.
cannot let our guard down. This guy beat our guy. He keeps beating our guy. He is dominating the Champions Tour. We need to be champions for the Champions Tour. Someone needs to represent these people that are out there, 60-year-olds that are trying to just like this is their last leg of life, and you got this guy out here who's just an absolute robot who's just destroying everybody.
I think we wear the exact outfits that Charley and Tiger wore the day they lost,
Yeah.
and we all go out there and we try to beat the machine.
He is a machine.
Yeah,
He's gonna
should-
crush us, by the way.
He's
Oh,
gonna and he's not gonna like laugh. I don't think
No.
he laughs.
Could we do a scramble against him? He's that good.
I think so.
Oh my god.
It would be funny if we did a scramble and he played like the forward team.
He should, yeah.
You know, we just chirped him the whole time and then he just dusted us.
What did
He-
his team say exactly?
his one of his guys his guy reached out. Let me look
From the
this
bingo
up.
club.
In between
Yeah,
shuffleboard
the YMCA.
games.
Who reached out to us?
I'm gonna be all over that shuffleboard too.
Doing a Pompano Beach in between his swim lessons, and
He also, we should put this video out around the Masters because I believe this is going to be his last Masters appearance.
let's do it.
So
Yeah.
he'll have all kinds of action. Hi Riggs, big fan. Thank you. We met
very
briefly on 16 at Waste Management a few years ago. I helped manage Bernhard Langer. I was wondering if we could connect about a video with fore-play.
Done.
I said absolutely. Shoot me an email, and then he sent me an email.
All right.
And we're going back and forth. We're
Okay,
gonna-
cool.
We're gonna figure that thing out.
Make
Now,
it happen.
We got to do that.
Yeah, it's great.
That
I don't
would-
know if
That's
that
a
like
no-brainer.
kills it on YouTube, but in our world, we need that.
I want that video for my own personal
Yes,
collection.
just got to play Bernhard Langer.
Just us hanging
Yeah.
out with
No, I think
Bernhard
people
Langer.
would.
yeah,
Can they? I mean, how old is he?
I think
I
you
think
can
he's-
make it YouTube. You can just be like, "This is the greatest old golfer in the world."
Right.
He is. That's such a Grant like Horvat video. Like I'm playing a 3-year-old today.
Yeah. No, we go the other way. We play 90-year-olds. Let's start bringing 90.
When is Grant gonna play a toddler?
How old is he?
67?
See, 67.
When is Grant gonna play someone in diapers?
we gotta
Do
play?
we think that's gonna happen at some point?
we gotta play Bernhard Langer, 67 years old. Yeah, I think we start bringing in senior citizens and we play them.
Yeah, I love
is
it.
very funny.
I love- we are the old YouTube group, so we should just lean into it.
100%.
You know, having
We are the
babies
old
and shit.
guys now.
We are.
We're having babies, and Grant Horvat's playing babies.
That'll be a good match. Little Borelli against Grant Horvat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Set it up. A couple years down the road from now, you'll have it. Perfect.
Grant's already, contacted me. Hey, we would love to set up a match.
It's a 2030 idea.
We'd love to set up a match.
No, I think it's earlier than that, my
You think it's
friend.
earlier than that? 2027s?
I don't know how we got here.
Grant's gonna
but
play my baby while we go for a sonogram. It's not even gonna be out yet.
I want.
Just beats per minute, and he's gonna try and make more putts.
Long story short, again, we want to play Bernhard Langer.
Yeah,
So
We're
if his
gonna dust his
If
ass,
his
dude.
representation is listening, we're in. I won't go so
We
far.
gotta
as-
go with the olds, man. I love this idea. I love it.
This guy, this crew also manages, this is actually Tom Lehman's nephew is the one who reached out, who I know, I've seen him around before. And he said they also manage my uncle Tom Lehman. So imagine if we just did a series, we just play the olds.
The olds.
Tom Lehman has a great story. Isabella's Kitchen up at Greyhawk?
Yeah.
he brought the claret jug in there. You know, he's an Open Championship winner.
That's right.
He brought the claret jug in there one time, and a bunch of the bartenders and the waitresses were, you know, can I get some pictures for my social, you know, selfies with that. And one of them takes a little video. She's like, I'm here with the Stanley Cup.
That's great.
So good.
That's really good.
Yeah, really nice guy, Tom Lehman. But I like that series. We got to start with
The
big
old
dogs.
Foreplay versus the olds.
Foreplay versus the olds.
The olds
We're coming for you,
versus
Freddie.
the
Couples.
olds.
If it's a 4v4, who's the 4 for those guys?
I think we do one versus a couple of our guys.
Yeah.
3v1 or something like that. You gotta do.
Because I don't know if you can get all the olds in one place.
We all got to putt with the broomstick or something.
They
They're all
all
going
go
to-
to dinner at 3:30.
They're going to
together.
bed early.
Freddie
They're-
Couples is absolutely possible too.
I would love.
We've,
we
like,
would have
kicked
to
around-
add Kirk Minahan if we did
Yeah,
that.
oh for sure. We've
You
kicked
know?
around that idea a bunch. Thanks to our guy Joey LaCava.
Yeah.
I've been on a text exchange where it's like you guys gotta get out to California and play Freddie.
Yep.
So
I
we
would,
gotta do
although
that.
Kirk would, he would have to play with Freddie. I don't think
Yeah,
he
yeah.
could physically play against him.
He
or at least
would-
just
he
sit
would-
in the
he would
cart
lay
and
his-
just kind of
What's that?
just sit him in the cart and just let him just talk for
Right.
4
Kirk would
hours.
lay his clubs down and just be like, I'm not playing against Freddie.
Yeah.
Kirk will text me and be like, "Did you see this?" And it's just a tweet of Freddie Couples committing to like a senior tour event.
Foreplay versus the olds. I love it.
I like it too. We've got a little Rory McIlroy versus Charley Hoffman. Did you guys see some of this?
I
Yeah.
saw none of this.
Charley Hoffman put out a, you know, everybody's sending letters now. Like it's, you know, we're back in the 1800s.
I don't think they should qualify as letters unless they handwrite them.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. It's an email.
It's an email.
He wrote an email, dude. People email
Saying
all
JT
the
sent a
time.
letter saying Charlie Hoffman is that he sent a letter, I guess. Those are emails.
You should have to go up to everyone on the range and hand them a handwritten
should
letter.
be-
It should be like a pen pal thing. Like,
Right.
Otherwise,
I'm
well,
writing you a
otherwise
letter.
it's an email you send.
It should be in ink. It should be like, you know. But anyway, what did Charlie Hoffman say?
So he put out you know, he sent an email that everyone's calling a letter to the tour, and he was essentially, he basically said, you know, I would never name any names, obviously, but it rhymes with Corey Fickleroy, and he didn't actually say that, but
Yeah.
he went and he's like, you know, I'm not going to call folks out, but people are out there saying they want to play less events on tour, yet they're playing in the Dubai Desert Classic, TGL, and like if you really whittle it all down, there was just Roy McIlroy.
It's like his schedule, yeah.
It was like exactly what he does, but he was calling them out, being like,
Everyone's looking to play less, but you know, you got a bunch of guys playing, and he like just named every tournament that Rory McIlroy had recently played, and
Got
like the
it.
restaurants he's gone to and everything.
and
Right.
and the comments that he specifically has made about wanting to play less on the tour.
Could be anybody.
And then, you know, Rory had a classic, like, they didn't even get the question out. It was like Kirk Minahan asked. They didn't even finish the question. And Rory was like, yeah, there were some issues with that I took, and a couple things that, you know, Charlie was forgetting to understand or say, which is that, like, the tour owns 20% of TGL. He's like, the tour also has a large ownership stake in, you know, DP World Tour Medias or something like that. And so he was firing back, being like, this is all kind of part of tour stuff. And so he was a little chippy. He was a little chippy when he fired back.
Passive aggressive letters to PGA Tour.
Also, I
and was
believe the email was sent at 6:03 p.m. and Rory was walking up the 18th hole at Pebble Beach
like, okay.
as it was sent.
This is a bit like, you know, this is Lord of the Majors territory here, where they're just writing letters. They're not.
I
It's-
think that's right.
I don't
I
understand.
also think it might be like at Barstool, Dave always holds the all Barstool, the send to all Barstool receipts or recipients or whatever.
Yeah.
He holds that to a very high regard, where like you can't just have anybody sending it
This is
out
a
to
good
the
point.
entire tour.
People
Or-
are crying wolf a little bit now.
Yeah, no, I just think like a
Abusing
message
it.
to the entire board of PGA Tour members needs to be held to the highest regard. Like it needs to be big moments. Like JT, that's a big letter to everybody, being like, we need to be better. I don't think that Charlie Hoffman needs to be sending that out. Like
You don't think he should have access to that
He
list?
shouldn't have access to just everybody.
Yeah. It's like
gotta-
you only get like 3 must-reads a year. If you're a
Yeah,
blogger on
you really
Barstool,
can't
you know?
do that. Like Dave used to get mad. Like someone would be like sending a message to everyone, being like, "We've got Donkey Kong being played in the room like next to the podcast." Dave's like, "Why are you sending this out to everybody?
Can't have that.
Don't ever do that again."
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with what you're saying, actually. Yeah, because now I think this
boy
is,
who cried wolf. That's what it is.
this is not the last we're going to see the emails called letters. I
Because
think.
if Charlie Hoffman can send it out, everyone can send one out now.
And it's making news.
It's just a
It's
message
getting,
board
it's
now.
getting on Rory's
Yeah.
radar.
Yeah, so now it's just the neighborhood Facebook group talking about
Right,
things that are going
which
on.
we can't have. Like,
No.
just play golf. at
The
this
shame
point.
about
Like,
this is I love Charley Hoffman. He's a
Me
funny
too.
guy.
love Charlie Hoffman. I think he would agree that he probably shouldn't be sending out those types of messages.
He's an impulsive guy. Remember when he was firing on social media for a little bit there?
Yeah, what
Somehow
was that
I
about?
got dragged
Was
into
that about Liv?
Yeah, somehow I got dragged in. It was like Phil Mickelson, Charley Hoffman, Riggs, Saudi Arabia. I was like, whoa.
To his credit, he did say he's been on like the player advisory board for like 20 years, and he's had like major roles in like all of this decision making.
I
So
do
like,
think he's like,
I think
yeah.
behind the scenes, I think like we're not giving him enough credit that he has been involved in a lot of these talks. So
This
maybe
is
he
not
does
a
deserve
fact-based
it.
Podcast, you
No,
know,
maybe he
kinda-
does deserve the ability to send that out. It's just like we can't be having Ben Griffin sending out like.
Just as the thought exercise on the other side,
Ben
I will
Griffin
argue
would
with that. I kind of just want like Ben Griffin sending emails to everybody
Right.
about anything,
True.
like because then we get to talk about it.
Right.
Like if Ben Griffin sends an email being like, "I don't like what's going on either," and it still makes news. Like Charley Hoffman is a big enough name, I think.
Yeah.
That people like when people see it, they know who it is. But yeah, if you get I don't mean to keep taking shots at our guy Ben Griffin.
Who's on the show in a little bit.
Yes, he's
He
a
would
really
agree, I
nice
think.
guy.
He would agree, I think.
Really nice guy. Yeah, if these guys are sending emails, I think we could really get into like a war of letters / emails, which I would be into.
Totally.
Well, now it's just like, what's going to be the email this week, right?
This is why
We've
I
had
can't
it
wait.
at this point where it's like, okay, who gets to send the email this week, and what are we talking about?
Also,
for
when you
that?
publicly talk about the issues, it makes the issues like very strange to like. You take a step back and you're realizing that we're all talking about like we need to be more accessible. It's like we're all like you guys should be doing this behind closed doors. We're all reading this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is true. It comes across way more serious when you put it into an email / letter.
But also, it's like, hey, like I don't know. It's something weird about the viewers reading how the players are talking amongst each other about how they need to be like their ideas on how they're going to be more likable.
Yeah, they're just putting all the business right in the street for
It's
everybody
just,
to
I
look
don't
at.
know,
We
like,
have
what
those
if we
meetings on
didn't-
this podcast sometimes.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
but
true.
that's a little like in line with our whole ethos.
I suppose.
They're a little like they play golf. It's a little different. I
can't-
like it.
I want another letter next week from I don't know. Pick a name out of a hat.
By the way, Pebble ratings were good.
Box office Rory. It's a little to your point last week where you were where we were kind of going back and forth about if they cut down pace of play, is that going to make the ratings go way up? It turns out what makes the ratings go way up is if it's just a really good leaderboard and a really popular player wins the tournament.
3.3 million viewers for Pebble Beach final round, which would be the highest for that event since 2021. Berger won. Spieth finished T3. Is that when Spieth almost fell off the cliff?
Probably.
That would, the 3.3 million viewers, would rank as the highest, the most watched non-major, non-players championship broadcast for all of 2024 season.
Yeah. So the answer is just good leaderboards, popular players, great location.
Also, not a good time for Charley Hoffman to be taking a shot at Rory. He's like winning at Pebble
No,
Beach.
I've actually felt that way personally because last week I called him stubborn, and then he won the tournament, and I was like, this guy wins every time. Every
Also,
time.
shout out to I think it was CBS, obviously, but shout out to that like whole crew for really doing a great job on Sunday with the broadcast.
I agree.
I don't think that they're getting enough shine. It legitimate. Is that like
Is that an earthquake?
Airplanes.
Those
guys,
are
they're
airplanes because it sounds like the world's ending.
That's an airplane?
Yeah. They're like, I think they're fighter jets. They're going through the mountains. That's where you hear all the.
Let me tell you something. We've been riding the car a lot with Beef recently. This guy knows a lot about a lot of things, and I'm not kidding.
He really does.
We were talking about
God,
soil
'cause
and grass and desert. I know it's like fine. We got somebody who knows stuff, and just random things. Like we were driving back last night after the DraftKings thing, and we ran over a bunch of things in the road. I was like, "Oh my God, what's that?" Frankie is like, "I think that was a body." And what were they?
No, palm fronds.
Palm
These
fronds.
things right here, they fall off the trees. We just ran them over.
Me-
They're
if
very
Frankie-
This is great
Bro,
news.
if Beef hadn't been in the car and it was just Frankie and I, we were telling the same
Call
story on the same
911.
podcast.
Would have made more U-turns to drive around and
We
see
would
what
have
it
made
was
more
again.
U-turns, and him and I would be like, I think we ran over a body.
Or
last
you would
night.
have sped up and gotten out of there. fast.
Right.
Yeah.
So
He was talking about like agriculture and like
Yeah. The Southwest, it used to be grass here. Like,
and the Native Americans like didn't know how to like preserve like the land, so like it basically just turned into like a barren wasteland, and then obviously like climate changes, and then now all of a sudden you have just a desert. And he made great points where he's like the sand and the clay doesn't mean that there should be no grass. Like there's sand-based grass areas all over the place.
All over, dude.
Yeah, some of the best grass, some of the best grassy areas ever are like Pinehurst, which is all like sand-based.
sand-based, right? You get the water, it goes all the way through the sand. You get super deep roots.
Now they obviously don't get
great.
rain here,
No. That's
so
the
that's
big problem, right? Is
the
like,
biggest problem.
It's a huge issue for us. It hasn't rained. I mean, we had one day of rain like a week ago, and that was the first rain day in 130 days or something.
Yeah.
So
First
it's a real
drop
problem
of
in
it.
this area. Like you have to either bring in water or carton water, use brown water.
I believe this is
recycled
all
water.
deep under the ocean at one point,
I'm sure at one point in time this was.
is what I understand.
100%. But that would also make a sense for why there was so much water once the land grew up, right? That you had areas that had pockets of water that could feed the reservoirs, feed the local areas to have green grass.
What do you know about outer space, Beef?
Not a bunch about it, but
We do a lot of outer
There's a
space.
comet
talk.
coming our way right now. You guys saw that?
2046
yeah,
or
Neil
something.
deGrasse Tyson
yeah.
talked about
There's like a
something, right?
1 in
Yep.
600 chance it can
Yeah.
hit us.
Goes through the
City
keyhole.
killer,
And something like that, if it misses, it will hit us then in 6 years or something like that.
something like that. It's
City
hitting it.
killer or Earth killer?
It says city killer.
There's a keyhole out there?
Which city?
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about like a certain like area that this thing can fly through. So just think about like a window that you're trying to hit a golf shot through. If it doesn't fly through there, it will then alter the course where it hits us in like 6 years afterwards or something like that.
Wow.
Cool.
That's cool. That's good.
Armageddon. You guys like that movie?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Good movie.
Good movie.
Yeah, the broadcast was great. I thought the drone shots, they had this drone guy. I think it was his last ever event that he was doing, and they kept hyping him up. He was I think he was in a helicopter flying a drone. So he was like, he had an aerial view. Am I getting that correct? Yeah, he was up in the air. And then also he had this huge system in front of him that he was flying this drone. The shots were not to be believed. You had the tracer as you're going around
sick.
18. It was going behind the tee box, and the tracer was going out towards the tree. It was amazing.
I don't know
Then
how they do that. That is stunning.
and then they also had the side angle one on 18 where they were basically on like in the bunker, and they were showing the shot go right to left. Oh, it wasn't even 18. It was the one that Rory hit, the 14. Right to left, like going over the tree, and it was the best tracer I've ever seen. So I think they're taking things. I think CBS sat down and was like, everyone loves YouTube golf for a reason. Obviously the entertainment, but also they're able to do more things because it's in post, it's edited. So you're able to see tracers in ways that you were never able to see them. You're able to see different types of angles, drone shots, everything's incorporated. I think they sat down. They're like, let's just do that with the best players in the world on the best tournaments. And then we're just going to get a lot more viewers because clearly that stuff's working. And they nailed it. They actually nailed it. They have better technology for live events than every other YouTube video I've ever watched. So CBS nailed it.
It was really cool.
You got a
Yeah.
hell of a budget, I think.
Hell of a budget, but like to pull that off live, we couldn't pull that. We couldn't pull off the shots that they were doing with a month's worth of editing.
Right.
We couldn't do it.
No, it was good. It is very good. CBS is doing a great job. All right, we got a little closest to. Is that what we're gonna do
Is
next?
Beef
there?
bringing the closest to?
I believe
I
he
got,
is.
I got you guys closest to this week here. We got a
Woo,
4-pack
baby.
here. of
I
questions.
believe closest to is brought to you by our great friends at Tax Act.
That's right.
It is that time of year, incredibly important to make sure that you got your taxes, straightened out. You need to file with Tax Act. Make sure you go to taxact.com, get your taxes over with. All right, Beef, a little closest to.
Alrighty, boys.
Do
Question.
you want an update from last week?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So we had
I'm getting Alex Bush on the screen. That's him.
what's that? Oh,
I'm just filming you just in case you want to use it. You got a
Okay.
nice little background there.
okay. We had birdies are better for Scotty Scheffler at Pebble. He had 20. I was closest with 19.
Wow.
Then we
I
had
think I
Nelly.
said like 24.
You said 25. And then we had Nelly's finish this week, and she was second, 2 shots back, and all of us said first except for Riggs, who said third. So we all tied that
We all
one.
get a point.
We all get a point.
And
Shout out to
then
Nelly.
Beautiful. Wow,
last
Nelly, the people's golfer.
For
Getting
real.
everybody a point.
last one was combined points, rebounds, assists for KD against the Warriors, 28. Trent closest with, what do you have, 38. We all overshot
Whoa.
that. And the last one is the game this weekend.
Okay.
So now we have Frankie with 5, Riggs 4, Trent 4, Alex 3, B. Francis 2, Jerry Kyle 1.
Okay.
Wow. Tight
All right.
leaderboard.
All right, Beef.
Alrighty, first question this week. What will be the winning score under par for WMPO? For reference, last year, minus 21. 2023, it was minus 19.
So we're doing number under par.
Number under par.
We send, you've done this before with the invisible,
Yeah,
right?
invisible.
Number under par.
I might have to take this jacket off. I want people to go to the store at the Waste Management and buy all of our stuff. And this jacket is in there as well, but it's a little hot for me right now, so I might take it off.
I think you could take it off. I would like to comment, too, that fashion really, people are very passionate about fashion.
That's true.
It really gets them going.
Are you referring to the Jason Day discussion we had?
Well, I'm combining the Jason Day conversation that everybody kind of was having, a public debate, and then those jackets. When I post those jackets, they're a very visceral reaction from people.
But they're selling out, so it's like people,
they're selling.
People go in that tent and they're like, "This jacket's insane."
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is
And
we got like George Kittle reaching out. We got people. I had Chris Lane reached out to me. He was like, I got to get one of those jackets. So fire. And then we have dozens of comments of people being like, that is the worst thing I've ever seen. So fashion really gets people going.
It's not.
I'm sending you an airdrop, Alex. By the way.
Okay.
Okay. I think we got those in. Let's keep this thing moving.
Okay. Hold on. We had Trent with 22 under, Frankie 20 under, Cody 18 under, Riggs 23, Alex 17.
Okay.
Greens are firm, but the weather's perfect. I couldn't decide which way I wanted to go, so
Scotty
I tried to overshoot you guys.
Yeah. What is Scotty Scheffler?
That's
gonna
really the
shoot?
question. What's Guy Scheffler going to shoot?
That's my horse this week. I really went out on a limb.
I think he led the field in like a approach or greens approach last week at Pebble. So to do it here, like in a desert course, I think people think if he just brings that over to this course, he's going to just dominate the field.
This is also dome golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing golf in a dome. There's no wind.
Yeah.
There's no weather.
He can
It's
just
just
drop
like-
balls right on top of the
So
sticks.
it's like what Bryson used to say. Remember that? When he was like, really every golf course should just be like a square, and we should just see who just plays golf best.
Yeah, straight down the line.
Could it be too firm though? Like Frankie shots at the Monday, like you just hit the ball
Hitting
on
off the back of the green.
1-2 yards offline, and it goes in the water from those areas.
Yeah.
You know who's not going to be 2 yards off? Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm just
God
saying.
bless.
There's
Mr.
chances.
Scheffler.
There's chances out there.
There's definitely is. I hope I'm right, but could be wrong.
Alrighty, question number 2. Big game this weekend. Chiefs Eagles. What is going to be the final score? Right now, the over/under is at 48.5. So I think we guess how many total points are scored in the game,
Okay.
including OT if there's OT.
Okay.
Total.
Total points.
Shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah.
Jump on there. Get that going.
I'm like really excited for the Super Bowl.
Me too.
You know?
I'm excited too. I think people are saying it's like a not great, and we talked about this. It's not a great matchup, but I love the matchup.
I think the
You got
matchup's phenomenal.
Two huge market teams, exciting players on both sides. One going for history, the other going for like a lot of our friends at Barstool are all
Yeah.
huge Eagles fans. Like to watch like Roan get excited.
Yeah.
The Frans of the world, like they just get to, like they're huge fans of this team.
It's also an all-time quarterback against the hottest like running game
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
there is. That's really cool. I think
Right.
that's
There's
great.
big names everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a good Super Bowl.
All right. Cody 56, Alex 44, Trent 37,
Wow.
Frankie 51, Riggs 59.
All right, we're all over the place. That's
Points,
good.
baby.
Me and Riggs points, points,
Yeah.
Points, baby.
Chiefs
Let's
can
get some
score.
points.
23-21.
23-21.
That's,
Done.
Yeah. Easy.
That's a lame game.
That's probably what'll happen though.
No, we need more than that.
Chiefs only scored 30 points once.
Yeah, against
Right.
you.
Until
That's
this
fine.
week.
Absolutely dusted your ass.
Until this week.
Already
question
they've been saving their good place for this.
Question number 3. We got college basketball. Saturday, number 1 Auburn plays number 6 Florida. What will Janai Broom points and rebounds? Points plus rebounds. So he averages 18 points and he averages 11 rebounds.
Okay.
It's 29.
It's a top 10 matchup this week.
Wow.
Janai
Auburn's
Broom
number one.
is-
I didn't even know that.
Is potentially going to win the Wooden Award if Cooper Flag does not for Duke.
I wouldn't have known if Auburn was in the top 30.
You're saying points and rebounds?
Points and rebounds.
Okay.
Florida's up there. Shout out to Billy Horschel.
Billy Ho.
Did the
Billy Ho.
Gator clap when he won the Tour Championship in the FedEx Cup.
Yes, he did.
Saw Billy Horschel the other day. Nice guy.
My skin is so fucking dry out here.
Listen, I know you love Arizona.
Mhm.
You lived out here for a long time.
Mhm.
I'm not an Arizona guy. I
Nope.
can't do it. I don't sleep. My lips are so dry. My skin is so dry. I legit feel like I'm an alien visiting from a different
Let me
planet.
give you a little bit of this medicated lip balm.
Please.
That's how I feel in Florida. I'm just not a humidity guy.
Yeah, but it's something like, at least there, my skin stays like a living organism that it is, where it's got moisture to
This
it.
is the shit that's
Out
good.
here, I'm exposed.
This is gonna feel weird, but it's gonna be nice. It's good. Oh yeah, get it all over. Yeah, baby, all over. Yeah, that's right.
A little minty.
Yeah, it's good, but and then you're gonna feel that little bit of a cool burn at some point. It's so good.
I'm into it.
I
dude.
know, dude.
I love it.
I know.
I'm
It's a beautiful sight. It's a beautiful sight, man.
Look at that, dude. How good do your fucking lips feel right now?
I want to cry. But I got nothing left. I'm so dried out.
I'll tell you what, man. I want to kiss him. You know, you know. They're looking juicy.
No, yeah. Again, I know you love it, and obviously, there's a lot of people that love it, including my parents.
Mhm.
But it's just not for me.
Yeah, I need trees that like cast shadows. That's just like I need to be able to go underneath
It's true.
shadows and like just get away from the sun from time to time.
Like when we were on 14 playing the Pro-Am,
God.
the hole that we drove by on our way to DraftKings, I legit thought I had played 37 holes. Like I was just like, the sun is unrelenting, and like he's saying, there's not much shade, and there's always this talk about like the sun and how different it is in different places. For whatever reason, the sun here it's nonstop.
I do believe we have a very high, whatever that is, UV
Yeah.
level here. So the sun is more violent here than it is in other places. That's
sure.
a fact. But I just love it. I hate humidity.
That's
The
fair.
second I get off the plane, I start sweating, and I just can't get away from it. There's no hiding from it. It just drives me crazy.
I will say, in Florida right now, there's no humidity. It's just like this, just like 10 degrees cooler.
When we were there in November, it was delightful.
Yes.
I will say this is also it hasn't been this hot in 3 months. You guys always kind of bring some.
it's definitely
hot weather.
nice temperature. It's just I can't get used to it.
All right. Where
All
are we
right,
at?
we had Trent 31, Frankie 25, Riggs 37, Cody 30, Alex 29.
Okay.
All right.
Last one?
Already number 4. We'll go NHL. Saturday, my Blackhawks take on Riggs' St. Louis Blues. Both teams stink this year, unfortunately.
The Blackhawks stink way more than the Blues
yeah.
stink, and the
Hottest
Blues,
team in the NHL is the New York Islanders.
They are hot.
This
Matt
is on you,
Barzal
Beef. You
out
should,
indefinitely, but they had a home game against the Vegas Golden Knights last night. I think they only had 14 shots on goal and won the game 2-1. Ilya Sorokin's last 7 games, I think he has a .961 save percentage. He's given up 1.18 goals against.
And they're
They're
9
7-0.
and they're 9-1 last time. Yeah.
And they're 9-1 the last
The only
time.
really bad season he had is when he was my fantasy goalie.
The only reason why I did not choose an Islanders game is because they play Winnipeg coming up, who's
the
very
best team in the
good.
league. Yeah.
And
Winnipeg is sick.
Going
great.
into these last 4, there's 4 games leading up to the Four Nations, which is going to be awesome, by the way. Four
What is
Nations. So they're basically they canceled the All-Star game this year.
Okay.
And they're doing international play just to like get the juices going. It's
That's
like
cool.
a Ryder Cup.
It's a great idea.
USA, Canada, Sweden, and Finland.
See, this goes to the point that we've been talking about a lot, where just change stuff.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like canceling the All-Star game is a huge deal because the All-Star game is a pretty big deal in the NHL. Like it's a whole weekend
Skills
thing.
challenge, I feel like
The
always
challenge
skills
is
comp is
big.
awesome.
Yeah, and like also being an All-Star is a cool thing. Like you see people say like he was a 10-time All-Star. It's something that you want to be able to say. Like Anders Lee, our captain, would have been an All-Star this year. It's kind of they should still hand those
don't
out.
they still get all-star selections or no?
Oh,
I
they
don't think
should-
so.
I thought
man.
they did in Olympic years.
Well, this is
Maybe I'm
different.
wrong.
They
Yeah.
should still do selections.
Yeah,
Like I think
yeah.
they should do that for
Yeah.
the NFL too. Like get rid of the Pro Bowl for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
But
were
still,
Pro Bowl
really
should
saying
just be
that.
selections.
Yeah, because
I'm
not
99%
these.
sure they're not handing
It's
them
just
out.
a way to rank players career-wise.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's bullshit if they're not doing that.
They
and I
should.
don't think they are.
Really?
There's also one of the more iconic clips is when Ray Bork, he was known for doing he had the accuracy. You know,
Yeah.
they put the 4 pies almost like they are in the corners.
Yeah.
And he was known as like the guy, and he had won it a bunch of times. And then Ray Bork, when he was I think pretty older, you know, he came up as like the last guy, and there was all this hype, and he went 4 for 4, and everybody went nuts.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's like
cool.
you just won't get those kinds of clips.
Brock Nelson won the accuracy shootout challenge when I was there. I went to go watch him in the All-Star game. He FaceTimed me from the bench, seeing where we were sitting. And I watched my buddy go out there and play in a fucking skills competition, and he won.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest thing ever. Dude,
Yeah.
when he hit that last target, I like cried.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get that. So,
Fastest skater was always awesome.
oh, the best. It's so much fun.
McDavid just ripping
Picking
around
which
there.
side, like which way you want to go. You want to go left, you want
But
to go
still,
right.
to all the leagues out there, don't be afraid to change.
But the Four Nations will be great. You got like
Yeah.
Austin Matthews captaining a team, and like the Kachuk brothers are playing together. You've got Canada's going to be a weapon with like the Cale Makar. You've got McKinnon and Crosby and McDavid. It's like they're all going against each other. Brock
Yeah.
Nelson on Team USA, by the way. He got selected.
There
That's
we
nice.
go.
So, Beef, sorry to cut you off.
That's right.
You can't bring up hockey without that happening, but let's do it.
Total goals scored by these 2 terrible teams.
Okay.
Blues are not terrible, by the way.
Versus
Blues are-
the Chicago Blackhawks.
Is there going to be a Brock Nelson Four Nations jersey?
Blues
Yep,
are only
it's like
3 or 4
$550
games out of
bucks,
a
but I think
wild
I gotta
card
get
spot,
it.
but they're not good. But I wouldn't put them on the
Brock
one of the
Nelson got
Blackhawks.
like emotional when he was asked about playing for Team USA because his grandfather played on the original 1960 Olympic gold medal team, and his uncle played on the Miracle 1980 team.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So there's and in Warroad, Minnesota, it's like 1,000 people in that town. TJ Oshie came from there. Brock Nelson came from there. I think maybe even Dustin Bufflin. That may be a lie.
They've had like 7 or 8 NHLer guys
Yeah,
come from that town.
But in that town, like international hockey is like all you care about, like the U.S. the U.S. national team, like the fact that those guys were on that team, it's the Christian family, and Christian hockey sticks was like the biggest thing. And there's a factory right in the middle of War Road, and like all the rinks are named after him. So for Brock Nelson, his grandfather, his uncle, all on that team, for him to get selected to a Four Nations team, that's maybe the sign that he might get on the Olympic team next team. So, because it's the same guys that are picking it, like the Bill Guerin.
Bill Guerin?
Stud. I don't know. He was the fucking captain of the Islanders. I still never was able to say his name.
Bill Guerin.
I say Guerin because he's got that GUE.
Shout out to the Harvard hockey team in the Beanpot tournament Monday night. Lost 7-1 to BU.
That's an ass kicking, unfortunately.
Yep, really
Okay.
tough. Number, that's like, you circle that. The Beanpot is one of the coolest things
It's
in the
all
world.
Boston teams?
Yep, it's Northeastern, BU, BC, Harvard.
Yeah.
And it is like a season within a season. If you can win the Beanpot, it's at the TD Garden. It's unreal. You get so hyped up for it. Number 8, Boston University just dusted the Crimson. So tough break for our boys.
Love hockey, man.
All right, Hawks, Blues total. Cody 6, Trent 5, Alex 6, Riggs 7, Frankie 4.
I'm going high this year on all my guesses, or this week.
Yeah. All right.
Blues
ones,
did win
Beef.
the Winter Classic 6-2.
It's good.
I
Very
think,
good
so
beef.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Well cooked.
Attaboy Beef. Well cooked.
How do you like your steak?
Medium rare.
Dude, you do anything
Gentlemen.
like
New
any,
York strip, salt and pepper.
any like charring on the outside or anything?
Yeah,
Did
you have a nice crust on the outside.
yeah.
If I'm making it at the house, a
Pittsburgh
little Montreal steak seasoning in there. Salt and pepper, though. That's all you need.
Right.
New York strip, medium rare, man. You're after
You
my
think,
heart.
so you guys don't need to bring attention. You don't all have to look at the same time, but the neighbor right behind us, right?
Yep.
He's just looking at us. And what do you think he thinks this is? He's an older guy. He's sitting out on his porch, just staring at us. Like, what do you think? He doesn't understand.
I wonder
this is
what
a
AM
podcast.
station they're on.
Right. Or
Yeah.
like, does he think this is like maybe just like a porn shoot or something? Right. Like he's thinking the worst. I bet.
Yeah, I would be.
You got a bunch of cameras. You got microphones. We're sitting underneath this pergola.
Should I take my shirt off?
Right. He has no idea where this video is going.
No.
Should we ask him if he wants to get on
Yeah,
the
no.
cannonball contest?
Yeah. He challenged me to a cannonball contest. I politely declined.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I can win that one.
No.
Have you gotten in the pool yet? We haven't
No.
had time.
We've been busy.
I know. I want to get in that pool. There's a
Maybe
hot
today.
tub too. Yeah, maybe later today.
We're about to get to. We have another segment to do real quick, but then we're about to get to Ben Griffin and Bob Does Sports. But you'll see that Beef and Fat Perez, they met for the first time.
Yeah. Big meetup.
That was
What
a
a
huge
picture.
meetup.
Big meetup.
Beautiful picture.
A lot of people hyped for the potential matchup of that.
yeah, could be coming.
Yeah, that'd be a great match.
It would be.
We'd have some fun out there.
I'm heading.
It's a good
got it.
listening experience there.
Get that out. I'm heading over the pond to London next week. Beef, you just got back from London. You were
Yeah.
giving me some pointers, some tips.
Yeah, I was in Paris for 4 days and London for 3. It was fantastic.
Fucking world traveler, man.
I think you're a big Beatles fan, so go
I am
see
a
Abbey
big Beatles
Road and
fan.
have
Yep.
fun with that. Go enjoy. Everything's pretty central to downtown, like all major attractions and everything. Walkable, depending upon where you're
can't wait.
staying at.
Very clean
Richard said
city.
It's like one
Yeah,
of his favorite cities.
clean city.
So
I gotta go to London.
I'm so excited.
My favorite city I've ever been to. London.
We're going from
London.
Wednesday
Mhm.
to Tuesday, but with obviously like late night flights in between. So we're not there for too long. We're seeing a show. And then aside from that, we've got a couple reservations and we're just going to like kind of walk around, see the city, get into some pubs. I got my parents going, my wife going. It'll be fun. So
do you have
actually,
do you have London outfits?
well, I told my mom to like I was like, this is like, it's a nice city. Like get dressed up, like bring your best coats and do the whole deal. So I'm not going to have much time to really shop, but I'm going to try and pull together some London outfits.
I think if I go to London, which I want to this year at some point, I want to really I want to be dressed.
What is a
in.
London outfit though?
I don't know.
Like a
Pea
tweed cap,
coats.
little pea coats,
Little pea coat.
quarter, like
Maybe a
proper coat.
Maybe a crew neck sweater with a scarf.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I just want to look
You know?
nice. I don't want to look like me when I'm in
My
London.
biggest
Right,
thing is
right.
I wanted to do a call to action. If anyone can get me inside the Buckingham Palace for like a tour or
Is that
something.
possible?
I don't know. I'm just, this is just a guy who's just talking to the world.
King Charles, if you're listening to this out there, I think
Yeah.
you got an in
I think
there.
they do tours, but like for like 2 weeks in the middle of August. So like there is like the capability of going into like see all those old rooms and shit, but I don't think that it's open to the public. I'm just hoping that maybe doors start to open if I start to scream it from a mountaintop.
Okay.
Hey, I might as well try.
Knock on the gates outside. Go, hey, you guys take a visitor?
I've done that before, actually.
I'm so into the crown. I'm so into that shit. I would love it.
You got the guards out there. You can take a picture.
Oh,
next to
yeah,
them?
the
I
beef
think
eaters?
they do like a procession like every day.
The
don't
beef
they?
eaters, right? Is that what they're called?
I don't think that's what it is.
the guard. I don't know.
I don't know.
Am I losing my mind?
I don't know. I mean, you watch The Crown.
I don't think that's the name of like their police. Is that what you're talking about?
Those guys that stand outside, they're not called beef eaters.
No, that's a brand of gin, I think.
Yeah, it is. I've drank some beef
Alex
eaters.
Bush.
I think it is. It says
Here,
members
hold on.
of the Sovereign's bodyguard, popularly known as the Beefeaters, are ceremonial guards at the Tower of London.
Didn't even know about
Beef.
that. All
It's
right.
your fucking name, bro.
Hey, man. Sorry.
God
Sorry.
damn.
Are those the
dude.
guys with the big, tall, furry hats?
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
sometimes they pass out because they stand up too straight. I think that's a military thing. If you like,
You can't keep your knees
if
locked.
you lock your
thought
knees,
you
you
made
go
that up.
down. I know. Well, obviously, like, yeah, it's a gin, but like it could just.
But you're
be
also the
named
guy
after
who
something.
watched 7 seasons of The Crown, so you should know.
I don't know if they even say the word beefeater in
Oh.
that. I think that's just.
I don't think
common
they do
knowledge.
either. And they do like the rifle twirls and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they don't. There's no emotion.
Yeah, if you're
You
standing
can
for
go
a
right
long
in front of them and be like, "Fuck you," and they just fucking look straight ahead.
It's a good accent, though, right there, for sure.
Yeah.
You could definitely
The
pass.
Cockney.
You know what you should do is you should find on Saturday. You should find like pick a Premier League team and go to that bar. That
That would be
Yeah.
cool. That would be cool. We're doing. We're going to the West End. We're doing. We're going to see The Lion King, which I've heard is one of the best Broadway experiences.
Just
It's the #1 show in London, next to like Les Mis, I think it was. So really beautiful, huge theater. I'm very excited for like the theater district of London because like it feels like that's like where it all originated, right? Like the Shakespeare shit, like all of that to me is very, very cool. It's old school, old school.
Everything's really old over there.
You
Yeah.
could take a tour of the Globe Theater. I was there.
Okay.
It's where Shakespeare. It's right on the Thames River and everything like that.
Wow.
That's where William
So,
was. doing
That's
his
where
thing.
old Bill Shakespeare was there. Yeah.
It's a amphitheater, right? His first
Yeah,
theater.
yeah. It's like this big
I
white
know more than
building,
you think.
circular thing.
You doing the London Eye?
We are well. We're staying in 2 different hotels. One, I'm staying with my buddy, actually Robbie Berger's cousin, who was the best man at my wedding. He's one of my best friends, obviously. Moved out to London, so my wife and I are staying with him, and my parents are staying in this awesome hotel right next door. And then we're all going to the hotel to right next to the London Eye, like overlooking kind of
Yeah.
Big Ben. So I don't know if we're gonna do the London Eye because like the hotel does the same view, and I think my mom's gonna get a little like
It's like a
scary.
long experience too. You're up there for a while.
yeah.
It's cool views, but once
dad's
you
not a tour
get like
guy.
halfway, you're like, all right.
No, you could walk the whole city, make your own tour.
You
anything
book
like
a
that.
tour for my dad, and he starts doing this with his hand, where he's like, "We gotta get out of here."
I'm with him.
I'm not listening to anything. This
Same,
guy.
yeah.
My dad also just can't comprehend anything that guy is saying, and my dad will do it. He'll be like 1684. I don't give a fuck.
I'm
Where's
with
the
him.
best pizza spot?
There's
You know?
certainly like value to having someone who knows what they're talking about take you around, but I don't like being like trapped.
So there's different tours that they love. They love like the personal experience one. Like when we went to Ireland, we had a driver that took us to the Cliffs of Moher, and like on that drive, they're just telling us like things about like them growing up there and like little like parts about their culture that we would never know. And then we made some stops, like this is where a movie was filmed, and it happened to be my mom's favorite movie. Like little things like that. They don't like to walk with the thing in their ear.
100%.
And it's like, and to the right, this structure was. It's just like, no, man.
Don't
like,
care.
My dad's like, I'm exhausted. Because I've done that before. When we went to Italy, we got sucked into one, and I went up. We were in Positano, and I went up to the lady and I said, we had 4 of us. I handed them all. Dude, the idea was to go from Sorrento to Positano, which is like a pretty long drive through these mountains.
Quit the
And
tour.
then like we got out in Positano and we're like, this fucking place is incredible. We want to stay here all day. And the tour's going to another place on the other side of the mountain. I gave her all of our ear things and I handed it to her. I said, we're done. She's like, but you're 3 hours away from. I don't care. We're gonna
just
figure
take
out-
these back.
So we
We'll
ended
be
up
okay.
taking it. We took a boat back. It was the greatest day ever. I'm done. I said, I can't. The church, I don't care. All these things you're talking about. It was exhausting.
Yeah,
I couldn't bear another minute.
you're your father's son in that regard as well.
God.
Yeah, your dad's
I looked
wearing
at
like
my
Miami
group-
Vice clothing and like looking for a drink.
Oh my
And
god.
go have more self-discovery fun stuff that way than
Yeah.
listening to this
That's why I like
audio
to travel
book
with
that's
a
on there.
crew.
Yeah.
Like I don't like just going with 2 people.
Pubs everywhere that are awesome, like 400, 500, 600-year-old pubs.
Yeah.
They got shields. Like there's a lot of pubs that have their own like crest from
Yeah.
how long that they've been there. And then the culture there, I'm sure your boys told, but it's like on weekdays, dude, they go and like for lunch, they all have a couple beers. like,
Yeah.
every day.
I know.
And then they just like hang in London. It's a great city, man.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. So yeah. And if anyone has any recommendations, whatever, it should be fun.
Get him into the Buckingham Palace.
Buckingham Palace, that's the one, man. That's the
Are
one I wanna
we
do.
doing voicemails on this show?
Let's go, baby.
You want to do a few?
Yeah, what a show this is, by
Yeah.
the way.
Big show,
Good
big week.
conversation, a lot of stuff happening.
Concerts, games, golf tournaments, all kinds of good stuff. We love going to events. It's what makes life worth living, and Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. And again, whether it is a concert or a football game or a comedy show, we always use Game Time. You know how much we love Game Time. And now, with their brand new Game Time Picks feature, they're making it even easier to get to a game. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets.
Yeah, it's great. We talk about this is why you live. This is it. It's just live events. You get bored just doing your own thing in your own house, and you're within the four walls of your living room. You're like, is this all that life has to offer? No. People have spent their whole lives making live events exciting for human beings to go and enjoy. So we need to go and do that stuff. This is what they excel at, is like making sure that you go to this event and you have the time of your life. And Game Time gives you the greatest prices for those events.
Yeah, go to a concert. They're the best.
Concerts are nice, man.
They really are.
Concerts are fun. I've seen Eric Church a bunch of times, and I saw him playing out at Pebble Beach
Yeah.
last week. I loved those clips and really made me want to go back to a show, and I'm going to use Game Time to do it. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code FORE, F-O-R-E, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code FORE, F-O-R-E, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. This ain't the little itty-bitty teeny tiny bowl. It is the Super Bowl, and it is Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Who do you guys like this year?
Chiefs. Frankie's
I
thinking
think I
hard.
like the Eagles, but again, you got to be on the Chiefs.
That's how I
Hard
feel.
not to.
That's exactly how I feel.
Until they prove that they can't do it anymore, you just can't continuously be on the other side of them, because you would have been losing for 3 straight years.
Yeah, long
you
time.
would be Josh Allen,
Right.
I mean, you'd just be losing to them
right. That's
all
right.
the
That's
time,
absolutely right.
which would be
Can't get
so
past them.
devastating.
It's a Chiefs hurdle you just can't jump over.
And it really, if you just boil the game down to the intangibles, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's Mahomes.
Yep.
If he's got that football, man. it's
We've been
hard to
gearing
stop
up for this for a long time. All NFL season. There's no better time than this right now. It's the last one. It's huge. The props are going to be through the roof. Passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards.
Anytime touchdowns.
Anytime touchdowns, parlays within the game. We're going to be all over it. It's the Super Bowl. It's as big as it gets. I can't wait. We're going to be home for it, which I feel like we sometimes are usually traveling during it. I've got my nice setup at home. I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed just thinking about just being in front of the TV, watching the Super Bowl. Maybe have a couple of friends over to really enjoy it, and I can't wait.
I'm having a nice Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to take my media credential. I'm going to go watch some golf here
Yeah.
in person, and then I'm going to hop in my whip. I'm going to go watch that Super Bowl at a little Super Bowl party.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
I'm going to wager probably upon the Chiefs and Mahomes. I'm also, I got a couple bets that we threw out for this week's WM Phoenix Open. We all kind of jumped on Sahith Theegala, top 10. I believe it's plus 320 or so. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use our code FORE, F-O-R-E, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. That is code FORE, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
We've been very transparent about the TGL. TGL broke yesterday. You guys see that?
No, I didn't
What
see
happened?
it.
Simulator just didn't register a Tommy Fleetwood shot.
Is that true?
Oh, no.
Yeah, they had to rehit and everything.
They picked up he had such a good shot that the divot, the ball went 3 inches.
It redirected
and he
it.
looks around and he's just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" They gave him a mulligan, which is just like, dude.
Oh, no.
Our guys at full. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, they're getting shit on. There's all these like reports. Like, did they use the right technology? Like, it's Tiger's technology. He's invested in the company.
Damn, I didn't
It's
know,
like,
but I didn't even
is
think
there
about
better
the
ones out there? I don't
divots.
know, man.
I think it was
just-
the My Golf Spy people that were like, a TrackMan is $25,000. Like, the one that they're using is $5,000. Like, what on earth have you ever bought that is 5 times more
Yeah.
expensive than something else, but is like worse?
I know. And like, obviously, there's great launch monitors for every single type of person and what you're trying to get out of it. Like, we've used the $600 ones that are amazing.
Yeah.
They're
The
incredible.
Rapsodo MLM2
It's
Pro.
MLM2 Pro.
It goes-
Totally agree, but it's not a $25,000.
But they also
track.
wouldn't use that for like a professional league,
Exactly.
and like Rapsodo would probably say, like, "No, we'll just make a better one for that, like that version."
Dude, I've been using that. They're not even sponsoring this show. I don't even know if they're coming in this year. I've been using that like once a week when I go to the range.
So good.
It's fucking awesome.
Dude,
driving
it films
range
your
aspect.
swings and
Insane.
gives you tracers.
It gives you tracers and just the little information. Like I know TrackMan's more accurate, costs a lot more, gives you more data. But knowing like I'm coming at the ball from 4 degrees outside to in is like, okay, if you need to get 4 degrees, but like that little stuff is
very helpful.
Huge.
At our level, it's everything.
Totally.
So that obviously sucked because when we've said this a bunch, if your league is built around the technology has to be outrageously good. And it has been, but you're going to have these mistakes. Unfortunately, that can't happen. And then there was another incident in which Colin Morikawa for Team LA hit this like bad drive, and it was like teetering on the edge of out of bounds, and it was going down this slope, and it just stopped halfway down the slope, and everyone in the building laughed. And he looked around, and he's like, "That's crazy. It should have been OB. Like if it's real, dude." And it was again the bad graphics on the screen.
I can't watch now because you brought up the bad graphics thing.
Dude, the bad graphics. It was like this rough that had like a round edge, almost like an old school video game.
Yeah.
And it sat on the round edge. There was a ball hanging on like it was Velcro.
Like Golden Tee.
It was insane.
Yeah.
So that's not good. Like, because if that ball goes into the water,
It's much different.
like LA like loses the hole.
Look,
But
we've been
instead, they're able
standing.
to hit the shot off just rough. It's flat.
We've been TGL stands at
We
times
are.
for sure, but you also got to call out that stuff's devastating.
I think we've been very fair.
Yeah.
People say that we're like, we suck the teat of it. It's like, no, we're very honest about it. We also wanted to thrive. This is good for our business. We want this stuff to work. It's additive to the stuff that we love. We love to watch it. We have merchandise collaborated with them. We're hoping to do videos inside the arena. We've got the whole entire deal. We are invested in this thing, but we're also going to be honest when we think that it like sucks in certain points.
We also thought last week was awesome.
Yeah.
Start
Oh,
to
yeah.
finish. Like it was.
I think
awesome.
we've been on both
I
sides.
don't think they
of
ever
it.
would have partnered with us if they didn't think that we would be honest. They ask us for feedback all the time.
Yeah.
So,
I watched Kevin Kisner make birdie yesterday on 16-17
wow.
during his practice round.
He's
He's got big odds. I think it
DFL,
was,
right? Like
25,000 to 1.
As far as odds go, I think he's DFL.
He did say so. He birdied 16, and then I saw him in the tunnel between 16 and 17. He goes, "Oh, Riggsy, you saw my first birdie of 2025." Is what he said.
$1 wins you $2,500.
I did put it on in the sportsbook app.
$1.
Why not? It's $1.
You have to.
It's
If he
$1.
wins,
I might throw a buck or two on
Couple
Mr.
quarters
Kisner,
to win 2,500.
He still rolls the rock.
Good
Dude. He was
return to
still
me,
making
man.
everything.
I've spent $1 on way worse.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Let's hear some voicemails.
All right, let's hear some voicemails. This is exciting, and then
This is
we'll
our
get to
first
Ben
time we're ever
Griffin.
Sorry, I was putting $1 on Kevin Kisner.
Ben
you
Griffin
go.
has a great story, so stick around for that. He quit golf like 3 years ago, and now
Yeah.
he's made $7 million on tour. So I
He's
don't
top
think enough,
70 in the world.
not
Right?
enough people know that
64,
story.
yeah.
He's like, he doesn't have anything to do on days off. He just like buys businesses and stuff.
He's
I don't know. What
total,
the fuck.
total businessman once
Yeah,
the golf course.
and then the Bob Sports guys. Obviously, you guys stick around for a great conversation, great vibes.
Beef and FP.
Yep. All right, let's do
All
these
right,
voicemails.
so I'll play these here and put them in.
Fantastic. This is from the gallery, by the way.
Yeah, this is from the gallery. We love from the gallery. Can we still give out the phone number? Is that going to stay the
Yeah,
same?
it'll stay the same.
Let me pull that phone number up so that we can keep getting more. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, let's
I
put
want,
that up
I
before we
want
play.
folks to get more and
Yeah,
more.
from the gallery has always
more.
been a great segment. We always got great debates based off of it. Like, even last night we talked with Robbie Berger. I think it was on the show. He brings up, can you win the Masters if you start on the edge of the green? Like, that was like a from the gallery that really sparked
The Mulligan
that.
Challenge was from the gallery.
Mulligan Challenge. Can you win the U.S. Open with unlimited mulligans? Dave Portnoy heard it because I said to him on the way to a pizza review, "Oh, we had this pretty good debate today. If you could win with unlimited mulligans," he's like, "I would absolutely win. I just would never stop until the ball went in the hole." And then we did it at Shinnecock, and it was one of the greatest videos ever.
So from the gallery, now we want voicemails. We think it's a lot better, more interactive. We're going to find out. But that phone number is 646-685-4717.
Real quick too, that just sparked my mind. Bob Sports they do a great job with everything. What they do a really great job at on social media is they repost old videos as if they're like they just happened.
Yeah.
Bob is amazing at it. We need to start doing that. We have so many. I mean, not to put more on your plate, Rob, but like we have so many moments, like that Mulligan Challenge.
Yeah.
Just like throwback to the time Dave Portnoy won the U.S. Open at Shinnecock. These are. I almost just choked.
Okay.
These are things that we've like. These videos are insane.
Yeah.
That we have. We have so many moments, so many social moments.
Yeah.
I would love to just do
Here we
like a
go.
trip down memory lane once.
This is Frankie's letter to the membership.
Couple
Just a
times a week, couple times a
flashback.
week, just like throwback to the time, whatever it was, bro. We've done a million things.
A lot of things.
A million things.
A lot of the internet now, not all of it, but a lot of it is repurposing. Because
repurposing.
there's so many different platforms.
They forgot it. Like, I know that we've played 2 times with Tiger Woods, but like that first time we ever met him at Pebble Beach was like.
True, we should have put it up Pebble Week.
This is what I mean. Like, there's things that could happen. There, you know,
You can still go up.
it's a whole new season. Let's just start repurposing shit. I just noticed that. Like,
It's Waste Management Week. Let's do some recycling of our own, you know?
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Voicemails. I'm done.
Thanks.
I'm done cutting you off.
By the way, this thing has the Waste Management Recycle logo on here.
It's crazy.
What's up, boys? First time, long time. This is TJ from Boston, Massachusetts. Just wondering, as the brand continues to grow, you guys continue to get more successful, do you ever see a Barstool / fore-play golf course in your future that you guys run and operate, where you host tournaments, film videos, etc.? If so, talk to me about what that course looks like, what amenities does it have, you know, what's the architecture of the course. Would love to know your thoughts and if this is something that has ever popped up. All right, thanks, boys. Bye.
Yeah,
I love this news. I love this.
Thank you, TJ from Boston.
Thank you, TJ from Boston. I can start with that. We've looked into this before with par 3 courses. We're definitely not done. It was a lot more of a project when we were owned by Penn, because they have such a deep bankroll and they're a publicly traded company and they have brick and mortar casinos. And so it made, you know, if they have the history, the funding, whatever, of like actually building things. We really don't. But we looked into par 3 concepts. We love par 3 courses, whether it's the Cradle, whether it's the Preserve, you know, grass clippings here is shown. And we looked into, like, imagine if there was a Cradle-like golf course in the middle of Manhattan or in the middle of Chicago or Columbus. We were looking at all these different places. There's a really cool place called Butler Pitch and Putt in Austin that if anybody's been to. Very, very small footprint. It's got like the fake, really cool, but like turf tee boxes and all a bunch of short par 3s. It has like a pickup truck that's got beers in the back of it with ice. It's like really cool. Anyways, we looked into that. So I would say the answer is yes, we would love to do that at some point. But we also were humble enough to know, like, that's a whole nother beast, baby. You got to like build and run an operation.
We had some big talks about it, and I think that it made sense when you were kind of attaching it to a casino or a bigger company, because like they were able to front the money up and be able to say, like, this is the reason why we're building this, because we're trying to like get new like activations and maybe we bring people towards our hotel or maybe we bring people towards our casino. There was like a reason why you would build that. I think when you look at just standalone golf courses like on your own, it's a really tough business, and Beef would probably know this more than anyone because he's worked kind of on the business side of like country clubs and golf courses. But like, it's really hard to own and operate a golf course, and it's expensive, and there's really not that much money to be made. Like, you hear like it's more about like the food and the bev and all of that other stuff around it,
which is also tight margins, as you know.
It's tight margins. Like, it's really not the best business. Like, owning a golf course is really, really tough.
Yeah, you could definitely get upside down on it pretty quickly. I mean, you have entire teams and staffs of grounds and maintenance crews that try to give you the best product, and if you just don't have enough players playing the golf course or provide the right environment for success, you can go south very fast. It's a huge startup cost, huge investment. I mean,
millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, we're talking a couple years before you actually see some profits back.
Right.
At that
you're
point.
also talking years before you get going, unless we bought something that's already going. But then you're just kind of like if we really wanted to make it our own and we put all these touches from our experiences that we thought could make it different and special so that people would actually want to go there, you're talking at like 2, 3, 4 years before you even from when you break ground and when that thing opens.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a huge investment, and it's like, is that something that you really want to take a risk on? Is a golf course idea the thing that we want to throw everything that we have into?
Right.
Like, I think there might be other avenues to make bigger splashes in the game, but I don't think that door is completely closed. Maybe you partner with someone. And it's
Dude,
not
we
a
had
big
calls
run
with
over.
Troon.
Yeah.
Like we've had calls with those companies. We've talked to Pinehurst. Like
I'm sure someone's going to do it at some point in this space. Like, you just know it. It's going to happen at some point. I just don't know if it's the best investment idea, and maybe this will be played in 20 years, and we're going to be like, that guy was wrong, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting, like, what cool, important things are actually, like, bad business. And I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they were talking about the airline industry. And they're like, airlines and flying is one of the most impressive things in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Like, there are thousands and thousands of giant machines flying around the sky that take people in mere hours, what used to take people years.
Yep.
Crossing the Rocky Mountains, crossing the Atlantic Ocean, whatever. And they're like, it's a marvel. It's unbelievable. They're like, every airline that's ever existed has just gone out of business. One of the worst businesses in the world.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that you think like that's the most important thing. It's so big for society. People fly all over the place. And yet like it's just one of the worst businesses you can be in.
Yeah.
So the bad business part is a very, very tricky part of the golf world.
Yeah.
I don't think it's dead though.
No.
There's always an opportunity. And we have the ideas on how we would make it ours and how we would make it cool, which we won't really give away just in case we have to end up doing this.
Keep that IP close.
Keep that IP close. But yeah, it's a great call. I love this format.
Yeah.
I like hearing from the people. Thank you, TJ.
TJ from Boston.
Yep.
So if you want to be on the show, you can call. And if you leave a good voicemail, you're going to be on the show.
You got to learn that number like you learned the Barstool radio number.
God, I could have done that. I might have said that.
Anybody
number
remember it?
8 million times.
I can't think
don't
of it.
remember it right now. I don't even want to think about it. It gives me. It is 646-685-4717.
Okay.
Hey, fellas. Long-time listener here. Favorite Truly flavor, watermelon cucumber. I have quite the question for you with the Masters coming up. Two-man showdown on Sunday to win the 2025 Masters as they clear the rest of the leaderboard. Tiger Woods versus Rory McIlroy. Who are you pulling for? Tiger to win his 15th major, come back for the ages, and really stick at the Lord of the Majors? Or Rory winning his first major since 2014, redemption for all of his major heartbreaks, the collapse at Augusta, St. Andrews, LACC, Pinehurst, and for him to complete the Grand Slam. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, first of all, I want to say what a day for TaylorMade that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Rory and Tiger
point,
at
man.
the Masters
It's a great point.
going down the stretch to win.
Mm-hmm.
I won't speak for everyone, although I feel like I might be. I'd be pulling for Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, man. It's the biggest. It would be the biggest story in sports forever to never be topped again.
I want to hear from Beef.
I think I'd still be rooting for Tiger, but I think it'd be like a root for Tiger to get his last one, please, then retire, take a couple years off, enjoy watching Charley get older, better, play more. I think that would be the best ending to a historic career.
Yeah, from a Tiger's happiness is where you're viewing it.
Is
from.
the way I view it from.
Yeah, very selfless.
Do I think Tiger could be in contention at Augusta still? I don't, unfortunately.
How dare you?
Okay.
I'm sorry to be that side of it, but
It's okay. You're allowed to.
Yeah, you are.
He's never
I'm
missed a
just-
cut at the Masters as a pro.
there's a difference between making the cut, though, and being in top fives on
You know,
Saturdays and
there's-
Sundays.
Be relaxed.
There's some
You know what I'm saying over here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying over here?
I know what you're saying, okay?
He's got to beat Bernhard Langer to make that cut.
And it's not the worst question, right? Like, because Rory is our guy as well, and
For
we
sure.
love Rory, and we want him to win. And the heartbreak has been tough to watch, especially at the U.S. Open. All these close calls. Hasn't won in over 10 years.
It's tough because it's Rory. Any other person, I think the answer is Rory.
Yeah,
But Tiger Woods,
that's correct.
I have to pick Tiger. I don't think it's that, it is going to be lopsided on this, but Rory would be so iconic.
Oh, my
And
God.
The heartbreaks that he has had, and we went through on last show, went through kind of like where he's at in the overall greats of the game list. He's got to win 13 more times to get inside that top 10 of most wins ever on the PGA Tour. He's got to probably win 3 more majors to get into the top 10 of most majors of all time. So he's still got some work to do, but he also has an insane resume already. He's got 27 wins, 4 majors. He's been a Ryder Cup badass. He's won the FedEx Cup like 3 times. Like, he's won the Players Championship. I saw that clip the other day, by the way, when he just pulled driver on 18 and absolutely ripped it down there.
Yeah.
That was sick. Did you hear his comments, too, about how he's saying he's, the Scotty Scheffler, he's trying to play more like Scotty Scheffler? And he was like, any other year, except for this one where I'm trying to be a little different with that stuff, like, that 3-shot lead on the 18th hole at Pebble Beach, you would have never seen me hit 5-iron.
Yeah.
That's what he said, which I thought that was interesting. But, yeah, I got to go Tiger Woods on that one.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, we love Rory, but, yeah, Tiger's the only one.
Problem if Tiger won 16, then I would be like, oh, he's going to get to 18.
I know. Doors open again.
Right. Beef's kind of on the other side of that, where he's like, kind of win one and then off into the sunset. But I think if Tiger won one, he'd be like, I can still do that.
Dude, when he won that 15th, the Masters too, the next major championship venues that year were Bethpage, where he had won the U.S. Open. It was, I believe, Pebble Beach, where he had won the U.S. Open by 15. And when he won that 15th, we were like, oh, he's going to win 25 majors again. He's back.
It is crazy. And I think I've said this before on the show. If you go back and watch 2019 Tiger Woods, it's real. He is an incredible golfer.
And that
Yeah, true.
we didn't realize that. We thought it was like a new version of Tiger that would never be what he used to be. And now looking at this version of Tiger, that Tiger looked like a superhuman.
Superhuman.
He was chewing that
He
gum.
was so fragile even in 2019 where like his back could go at any moment.
See, and I think I just want to remember Tiger as like the guy and not be like, you know, we've gone years.
Yeah.
He has the one major, and it's kind of been like
But it never-
Michael Jordan at the end of his career going to the Washington Wizards. Like, can we just take that out of him being?
But nobody
on that team?
really ever does that. How
No.
many athletes ever do? Like Brett Favre stayed way too long.
Peyton
Mike,
Manning?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get the competitiveness in them just forces them to play longer.
For the most part, you're just going to get the greats who just stay too long, and they're like, I just want to keep doing this because it's what I'm great at. And you're never going to get the fairy tale ending.
And the other thing too is he has how many years now before he can actually play Champions Tour events?
Just
and
One more.
Just one? All right.
Yeah, 50.
So then he's only got 1 year.
You want, you don't want to see a sad version of Tiger.
No,
I
no.
understand, but I do. Phil won. He was 51 years old when he won that PGA. So that makes me think like Tom Watson almost won at age 59. He should have won that Open Championship.
Yeah.
It's like that little hope is always in there. Phil winning at Kiowa was the most shocking thing in history, maybe. That's the worst golf course for him on the planet.
Yeah, that was stunning.
Like Tiger always says, right? He doesn't enter the tournament unless he thinks he's going to win it. So
That's right. Let's go, Mr. Woods.
I'm in. We doing one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do one more?
Yeah, do
Uno
one more,
mas,
and then we'll
por
get to
favor.
the interviews.
Hi, I want to just ask a question about golf trips. This is Noah from Boston. So my question is, do you feel as though it's better to have large golf trips with 12 or 16 people, but not everybody is passionate about playing a ton of golf every day? So you're only playing 18 holes a day. Or is it better to have a small golf trip with the guys that are really focused on golf, who want to play maybe 36 or even more holes every single day? What do you guys think is more fun?
You know, I do a lot of golf trips. I would say I take a little bit of both in that I think I try to press my buddies now whenever we do trips to not play 36 holes a day. I just think it's a lot. I think if you play 18, mid-morning, and then maybe do an emergency 9 or something, whether you got 4 or the 16, it doesn't really change it that much. That's kind of the format that I prefer no matter what. But I will say, dude, we did like an impromptu abandoned trip maybe 2 years or so ago now for my buddy Tim's 40th birthday. And it was just 4 of us. It was like his favorite foursome of golf. His wife called me and helped set it up. It was like a surprise for him. And it was over 4th of July where our office is closed. So we were there for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Just the 4 of us. And it was so awesome because of how nimble we were. We could buzz over to this bar. We could do a last minute dinner reservation at that spot. You could go play 9 more holes here. So I do think people sleep on the smaller crew because it's so hard to leave anybody out. But if you can get away with it, I love the small crew. 4 guys. It's great.
Yeah, I'm about to go into my second year of hosting a buddy's trip. We did Big Cedar Lodge, talked a lot about it. Now we're going to Forest Dunes in August, and yeah, I think the conversation, the question, the first part of the question where he said, "Do you want it to be like diehard golfers that want to really like take it seriously, or do you want that mix of like you have 16 guys, maybe 6 of them really don't care about how they play, but they're just there for the vibes?" I really loved that aspect of it because once you're out on the golf course, like yes, you want it to be competitive and you want the people to care because you have like you've set this whole thing up, you've got a trophy, you've got the whole deal, but you realize that like all the memories and all the funny parts and like even the bad golfers, my trip came down to Big Rob versus Jeff, and an 8 beat a 9 on the last hole to win the whole entire tournament. Like they didn't.
The golf doesn't really.
The
matter.
golf doesn't actually matter. Like no one cared about the 78 and 79 that Tom and I shot. Like it's more about just like watching people that want to get more. I hit that one ball out of bounds on 18. It was tough.
Out of the bunker.
Mm-hmm. But it's like you just got to have that nice balance. I think you need to have the cream of the crop golfers that are going to push along the competition and they're going to make the other guys at least care, and then you need just like that vibe aspect of it. So I would say if you're going into a decision to make, the more the people the better, and don't care about the way that they play, as long as they're able to like get down the course. Like you don't want to bring a guy that's never played golf before because that just kind of ruins like what you're actually trying to do. It's still a special moment for everyone out there, so like try and find that balance of like you're not trying to ruin anyone's day. You're not putting a guy that can barely get off the tee with like one of the best players because it's like it's the biggest day of their year. Everyone's you know, so like you don't want to ruin it with someone that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
True. Yeah, and as I've never put together a golf trip, but I've been on a few, and the thing I like about bigger groups is each year I find myself in like a different clique.
Yeah.
Where like it's the dad bod's a perfect example.
Yep.
Each year you're not always with the same guy ever, but you find yourself like you're pairing off with a new guy every single year or a couple new guys. You know, you'll go into the sauna with that crew. You'll go to dinner with that crew. Like that I really like with a bigger group where everyone's pretty much the same every year, and you're meeting new guys every single year, and everybody kind of pairs off in different groups, which I really like that part of it.
Yeah, it is a good point. Like I have for our trip, this is gonna be I think this is gonna be the 6th year we're going to Arcadia Bluffs this year. And I guess 3 years or so ago now, you know, we were gonna expand we were gonna go from 8 to 12. And my closest childhood friend Pete, you know, his older brother Chris wasn't on the trip yet, and we were like, Pete, it's a no-brainer. You should invite your brother Chris. And he was very nervous about Chris is not the best golfer in the world. He's high handicap, hadn't really played that much, was starting to get more into it, and that was a big concern. We were like, no, it'll be great. And it's the best decision we ever made adding him to the trip because he is a vibes guy. Our caddy out there was calling him 2 pops for show because he gets a couple pops on some holes, and that was his name for the whole time. And his caddy just kept going 2 pop for show every time he would make a putt at Bandon last year. And he's the best addition ever. And his game, I mean, he ended up winning some pretty big matches because you do the handicaps. He has a blast out there.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. So, yeah, the vibes are key.
Yeah.
Give me the big group dinners. Give me the big morning
best.
wake-ups of, like, what just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
You get to hear all these little funny stories from whether it was, hey, the guys playing poker at night did this.
Right.
Or, hey, the golf guys really enjoyed that. Like, that I think will always trump whatever good golf was happening on the golf
100%.
course.
The golf
or
just
what
doesn't
dinner.
matter.
Like,
it's funny.
being with the crew is what I would go for more than, just a foursome.
And just the way the world works, the guys who don't play well, them doing anything successful is the takeaway from the day.
Yep.
Like the guys who play well are just expected to play well. It's almost embarrassing. It's like, just go play.
It might
Go
actually
play
be
well,
better
and then, like,
if you're the high handicapper.
it's the
because
best ever.
everybody's on your side. Everybody's rooting for you.
Yeah.
100%.
Jimmy made a par on that hole.
Yes, that's exactly
25
it.
handicap.
Right.
It's just the talk of the town.
Chris made a birdie on like that 7th hole at Sheep Ranch. That's that par 3 right on the cliff.
Yeah.
And he made a birdie, and it's like, of all the videos I posted on like my main Instagram post, that one had to make it.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, Chris made fucking birdie for a net hole in one.
The text messages, like,
I birdied 17 at Pebble during the dad bod, and I was like, that was the best day
yeah,
of my
and
life.
the text messages are going crazy. Like, Trent actually did it. It's, yeah.
So
So
singles match against me.
I would
was.
say
Son of a
that's
bitch.
right. Trent won that, didn't he?
I did.
No, yeah, I would say it's always more people. Like, I think we might be going from 16 to 20 this year, which is a lot of people. And it's a lot of planning. It's a lot, but if you can make it work, man, and intermingling like different families or different groups.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like for me, like I'm bringing like Hannah's family with my buddies, and then my family, and they're meeting each other for the first time. And now like the group text is like my whole life is kind of all circling around it, and it's like I love it. I absolutely
And then
love.
Jeff and Ted are having drinks at the bar. They never
It's the
met
best.
each other before. It's
yeah,
fun.
maybe they're in a city that the person's in. They reach out to them.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to grab a drink?
Fun.
Yeah, it's good.
It
I
is
like-
cool. We get from ours. We get because it's like my brother's 4 years older than I am.
Yeah.
So we had his group of friends that are that age. And now they all like play golf together, like my friends and his friends, and it's almost like they've all been friends forever, even though it's kind of the trip that brought everybody together.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I like these voicemails.
Me too.
It's a good idea.
All right, that's a hell of a show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Marathon.
Now we're
Yeah,
going
like.
to Ben Griffin and the BDS boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Stick
It's a
around
good
for that.
show. I don't know how the audio is going to sound. Is it all right? Yeah. It's good. It was a live aspect. It was a little bit, we'll be transparent. It was a little bit awkward at first with like, we're at this live event. We're trying to talk golf, and it's like people just sitting there kind of staring at us. It was like
Well, for
an invite
context,
only.
For context, before the lead up to the live show, I mean, it's Waste Management Week. We're in Scottsdale.
Music's bumping.
Music's bumping. People
Yeah.
are having drinks. Dinner's getting served. Like, and then, it comes to a bit of a screeching halt. I even think Frankie says that.
Oh.
And now you're going to listen to a bunch of golf podcasters. We were happy to do it. It was really fun. I'm glad we did it. But I just want people to have that context.
Yeah, it's not. We weren't sitting in the back patio here, just able to shoot the shit. It's like you got a bright light on you. It's 100 degrees in there, and you just got to like try and. I don't even know if the goal was to entertain. I think it was just to golf, to talk golf.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's an interesting one, but Ben Griffin, I don't want that to get lost in all of this. Is the reason why I'm bringing it up. He's got a great story, and I think he's going to gain a lot of fans from this. I hope. So yeah, this is that conversation.
Hit it hard.
Is that what we're doing?
That is exactly what we're doing. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
So here is an open you guys might not be aware of. The IRS is accepting returns, so now is the time to get your refunds and an easy way to file with Tax Act. Important time of year, important thing you have to do as an adult citizen of this great country. You got to pay your taxes. Happy to do it, but you want to make sure you do it right. You want to make sure you do it properly. In Tax Act, they've got a different expert for all kinds of different levels of knowledge, whether you're a novice, whether you're pretty experienced with this, but you just have a few questions. Tax Act, and you go to taxact.com. Tax Act is going to have the perfect representative to help you out and get your taxes filed.
Got to get it done, and they do it the best way, and it's super simple, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, for us to not have to think about it,
Just get it done.
it's something that I really, really enjoy.
Do it early.
They got very easy to use software, which is awesome. Nobody likes that frustrating grind of trying to get some software to figure things out. Max refund guarantee, live tax experts when you need help. So make tax filing easy this year and go to taxact.com to get your taxes over with.
We are the fore-play podcast. Welcome, everybody. It's Waste Management Phoenix Open
give it up.
week. We've made it the best week of the year. We've got some great guests for you. Honestly, I think we're just going to bring one up right off the bat.
Yeah, I think we
right?
bring him up right here. Yeah, right now.
Mr. Ben Griffin. Why don't you get up here?
Yeah, come
real
on up
quick?
here, Ben.
Why
Give it
do
up
they
for
don't
Ben.
want to hear from us. They want to hear from the guy that can actually hit the shots. What's up, brother?
How we doing, man?
Can we get Mr. Ben Griffin a microphone? Or you want me up there? No, you sit right there.
Take a seat right there.
Ben Griffin, the first question I'm going to ask you is, have you ever heard that you look like a more athletic version of me?
I haven't heard that, but
I get tagged in so many photos of you, and I think that might be a bad thing saying about you because I have this like no facial features. I've got it's a very plain face, and every time that you hit a good shot, they're like, Frankie, you just did something on the PGA Tour. So I don't know if this is like a negative way to start this thing. But
I don't know if I'm more athletic or not, but we're just a golfer.
Yeah. We'll get right into it. Listen, we obviously know your story. One of the things that stands out to me, and I don't know how many people here know this, is you gave up the game of golf just a couple years ago. Can you just talk about that a little bit? And the fact that you're here, you're playing the Waste Management Phoenix Open. How did you get here, and what really led to you stepping away from the game?
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey for me in professional golf. Out of college, I knew I was going to play professionally and got off to a pretty good start playing on the Canadian Tour and worked my way onto the Corn Ferry, but just had a bad year at a bad time right before COVID hit. So I was basically forced to go back to play internationally, but COVID hit in March at the start of 2020. And so I was basically playing mini tours, gambling on myself, and it's hard to pay rent and, do things when you aren't making very much money and you're just traveling and you're just looking at your credit card balances and it just gets more and more negative. And so I was tired of relying on my parents. They were so supportive of me, especially my dad, floating a lot of bills. And I had I had one sponsor at the time, but it definitely wasn't enough to cover much. And so my mom was in the mortgage industry. My dad was in real estate. So I took some time off, was doing some real estate with my dad, then got my license to be a mortgage loan officer and did that for not that long of a period of time because a guy by the name Doug Sigg came into my life. I played golf with him, and he's the CEO of Lord Abbott, asset management firm based in Jersey. And he was like, dude, I played with you. You're so good. You're so talented. I want to, float your bill for a couple of years and get you back to professional golf. And so that was end of 2021 summer when I basically was like, all right, we're going back to Q school. We're going to get on the Corn Ferry Tour. And so, yeah, that financial backing allowed me to free myself up mentally. I was no longer thinking about bills or anything. I was a kid again. I was a college kid again where I had all the resources around me to play my best golf. And I credit all of my success to that man right there. He changed the trajectory of my career, got me out of the cubicle and got me back onto the grass so I could see the sun again. It was nuts. I felt like I never saw the sun for that spring and summer.
This might be why people think.
And I'm like, the days are longer in the spring and summer, but I'm
Yeah.
seeing less sun now. It was nuts. But so got on the Corn Ferry Tour, had back-to-back seconds early in the season, got my tour card in 2022, and I'm still hanging on. So here we are.
There's so many stories, and we talk about this all the time, guys. Like how many times guys get close. We've got a guy, Alistair Doherty, who's like knocking on the door of the PGA Tour. He's right there. He's finishing in second. He's finishing one putt away. And a lot of golf fans, and we come here and we celebrate these PGA Tour events, and we get so excited for these amazing athletes that we just think like we're destined to be there. There's so many people that have that talent that you have, and they just give up. They don't have that guy that saves them and helps that financial burden, and they don't meet that person that was meant for them at that moment. And it's a grind of a life, this PGA Tour life. When you're like grinding that line, it's not for the faint of heart, and you would know more than anyone. So it's really like respect. It's commendable that you stick with it, because it's really not the easiest thing.
Yeah, and hats off to you guys, honestly, for sponsoring Alistair. I think some of the best stories in golf come not from the PGA Tour. They come from kind of the rise of getting there, and it's hard to find it in the media, a lot of these stories, but there's a ton of really good kids, cool talent, or great talent, and guys with a lot of heart that are trying to make it all the way there, and that's the coolest part of the journey. Once you make it on tour, everything changes. I'm talking, with Dana, my fiance, earlier. Like, I'm hiring like a PT and a trainer now full time to be on tour with me, and it's just like everything's changing so fast. And it's obviously a blessing to be on the PGA Tour, but there's so many cool stories and journeys of getting here. But yeah, in terms of my life, I played 35 events last year. I wasn't home very much. We just decided to move down to Jupiter, Florida, so we're kind of going through a little move.
Trent's a Jupiter guy.
I don't.
I just moved down there.
Yeah, I live out of a suitcase for most of my life. It's nuts. This was my Christmas present from Dana last week. This jacket.
It looks
Fortunately,
great.
I bought it
really
at the
good.
right time for this event, but or she bought it. But yeah, it's nuts, the journey and the life and the grind. And once you're on tour, you're playing pro-ams sometimes on Mondays, definitely every Wednesday. Grinding on Tuesdays, learning the course, play Thursday through Sunday, boom, straight up in the air, head to the next event Sunday night or Monday morning, and do it all over again. And this is week 5, but it's the People's Open, baby. We're ready to get the party started.
The absolute best.
Yeah.
You've played all the majors, right?
I have not played the Masters, and I've not played the U.S. Open,
only
but I
played
played
2 of them.
2 British Opens, 2
He's only played
PGAs.
2.
He played 2 of them.
4
Frankie thought he
majors.
played in 4. He's played
only
2
played
of them.
half, actually.
I played in 4 total majors, but
4
two
totals is what I read.
PGAs, 2
There we go.
Opens. Yeah.
Google's a motherfucker.
Yeah, it'll mess with you. You might get confused
So,
with me if you look on
at the
Google
end-
too much.
You've played majors, is my point. You're coming to the Waste Management Open. What are you expecting going into something like this? This is the biggest party in golf. You've got hundreds of thousands of people lining the fairways. Obviously, 16 has 70,000, whatever the number is, people, which is an outrageous number, by the way.
Yeah.
You think about like college football stadiums.
Kinnick Stadium, 70,000 people.
That's on 16.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I love it. I love the noise. Like
Because
my
there are
first
people,
year,
like historically, golfers will skip this event because they're like, it's just too much. That
they
doesn't
can't
sound
handle
like it's
it.
you.
They can't handle it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. I love it. I think it's great. I actually like more noise because I treat it almost like white noise in a way. I hate playing tournaments where it's quiet. Like, it's the worst because I'm like over the ball. I'm like, can someone just say something
Do you
like
have
right
other
now? Can
sports
a
in
phone
your-
go off? Like,
Did
I'm
you-
almost expecting
Did you grow
it.
up playing like baseball or football or basketball or?
Yeah, I played most sports, but was terrible at pretty much all of them. I was good at basketball, but I was 4'11" going into high school, so I had no chance. So I basically was forced to play golf. It was great. Turned out to be great, but yeah, I love the noise. I love the amount of fans. I think it's one of the coolest experiences. It's the closest I'll ever get to feeling like an NFL player is getting on 16 because my figure's definitely not there, but the noise is there. So yeah, it's a fun event, and you just got to embrace it. And some guys don't. Some guys let noise get to them, and I don't really care. Someone last year I was grinding to make the cut, and like I took it back, and they yelled "miss it" on like a 9-footer, and I made it, and I was like, how about that? Take some of that. But
That might be
yeah,
the
he
key-
might have bet on it. I don't know.
That might be the key to your success. We got to get out there and we got to yell at you the whole round.
Sure.
And you're going to be the most accomplished golfer in history.
I don't mind. I don't mind it.
It's got. Oh, go ahead.
Something that I've always wondered with a guy like you, you're kind of grinding it out. You're I think you're 64th in the rankings, the PGA Tour. Are you going into this event with winning expectation? Does every single guy on the PGA Tour think they're going to win this week? Or do you have like, all right, let's get a top 25. Like, is there like a specific number for you that you're like trying to achieve? Or is it to win this week?
Yeah, it's got to be to win. I've been close on tour, have a few seconds, but and definitely been in the mix. I was in the mix a good amount last year. Just struggled a little bit on the weekends and Sundays. It's funny, my first year I was really good at playing well on the weekends and getting my way up into like the top 10, top 5. And last year I was kind of more in the mix and didn't quite get it done. So I feel like hopefully this year can be I can flip the switch on that. But yeah, you have to have the mentality of winning. Because the moment you start thinking about top 25s, the moment you start thinking about cuts, that's all your mind can think about. Yeah. You're not focused on trying to tackle your next shot and try to make another birdie and work your way up the board. So you got to have those expectations. The thing is, on tour nowadays, everyone's so good. It's cutthroat. Everyone's got a chance to win when you tee it up, especially a field like this week. It's very strong. No Corn Ferry guys are getting in from last year that were qualified to get on tour. So it's all a bunch of studs from last year and major champions, big names. And so I'm excited to tee it up against them. I played a lot against some of these guys. The last few seasons, I know I can do it. It's just a matter of time and having the faith.
Hey, Ben, the last 4 holes here have just total opportunities for risk reward. Take us through and tell some of our viewers here kind of some of the mental thoughts you're thinking of as you step on 15, the par 5, 16, right, the par 3, 17, the driver par 4. What are some of those things that you're thinking about in your game to just hit crispy shots to give yourself position to make birdies, pars, score well?
Yeah, hit bombs and hit it close and maybe make a 1 on 16 and drive 17. But no, yeah, it's funny. I've never thought about it like that, but 15 and through 18 actually probably make or break this tournament every single year because there's some of the most scoreable holes in a way, but also can be a little bit penalizing. You got water on 17 and 18 that are in play if you pull it a little bit. And, even 15 too is the same thing. 15's got almost an island green for a second shot in the par 5, but you can take advantage of those holes and make a lot of birdies. 16, there's a lot going on, but it's still a short iron. It's definitely a wedge on Saturday when they move the tees up and do that front left pen. So tons of opportunities for me. I've just got to kind of create a little game plan based on the pin locations, I'd say. Those kind of affect how I'll play some of those holes a bit. 15, for instance, the green's kind of tricky. It's almost tiered. Going forward in 2 is something I'll try to do every round, but like some of those pins are almost easier with a wedge than if I'm on, say I miss the green in 2 and I'm in a left bunker or right bunker. It could be completely short-sided. I'd rather have a wedge. 16, you're trying to hit the green and give yourself a putt inside 20 feet. You hope to make maybe 1 or 2 of those over the course of the week. 17, you're trying to drive it just short. I think for that hole, I'm trying to get it as close to the green every single round for every pin. And then 18, wind direction can affect what I choose off the tee, but that's a good finishing hole. You look at Nick Taylor last year, I think he birdied it to get into the playoff maybe and in the playoff to win twice. I could be wrong. I can't remember exactly, but you got to make a lot of birdies down the stretch. And so those 4 holes, hell, if you can play them at least 10 under, you're going to have a good chance.
I just think that as you look at those last 4 holes, even if you have a 2-shot lead and you're in the clubhouse, there's still plenty of people that can come on and birdie, eagle those holes and get right back into contention or move up the leaderboard.
The risk reward is insane, right? You can just go after shots if you need to get the strokes, or
you can
play it safe, but the guys behind you are going to go after it.
You can easily go 4 under on the last 4. Easily. Yeah, you're gonna have 2 potential eagle chances, and then 16 you can make a putt, 18 you can make a putt. You could go 6 under theoretically, but that'd be nuts.
It'll be interesting to see everyone's strategy. Do you go that hard on Thursday, or do you just reserve that for Sunday when you need it? But I'm interested for you. You're living out of a suitcase. You got your fiance here. You're traveling around the country, the world. What are you doing to pass the time when you're not golfing? For us, we're kind of like a traveling circus as well. I know, the content game. We got the Barstool Sports guys here. We're all just traveling around, and you're trying to find ways to pass the time moving around this country. What are you doing? Are you watching movies? Are you watching Netflix? Are you staying in the hotel? Are you getting Airbnbs? What's the Ben Griffin story when you're not on the golf course?
I'm so different from every single tour player. I'm very business driven, so I'm working on a few different things off the golf course while I'm also playing on the PGA Tour.
You're making Excel sheets? What are you talking about?
I thought he was going to say I watched Severance, and now he's talking about business deals.
Yeah, going through P&Ls and tax returns of businesses. Right now, the last week or 2, I have a business partner, and we're looking at acquiring a small business right now and trying to.
You're gone from that, bro. You're on the tour.
It's never gonna leave me.
Let it go.
It's never gonna leave me. Yeah.
Go eat some ice cream. Get a nice steak.
I'm getting done with golf and I'm thinking about, all right, how can this operator, grow this business 30% over the next year? I know it's terrible. But I have fun. I have plenty of fun. I love being social. It's off week. It's hard, man.
Give
During
me
the
one
week,
fun thing that you've done. Give it to me. Give it to me.
One fun
He
thing.
moves
We went,
assets over from
I know.
one shoot to the next.
we went to Global Ambassador last night. The vibes were incredible on the rooftop. The Mediterranean spot up there. So that was really cool. Love Scottsdale. Me and
Okay.
Riggs were talking
Great
about
city.
it.
Yeah.
This is an awesome place. So I still find time to have fun. But yeah, this year in particular, I'm trying to be more disciplined, honestly, with workouts and recovery.
Yeah.
So I'm putting a big premium on that right now. That was kind of a New Year's resolution to get in the gym more and try to hit, 7-iron into 14 at Pebble like Rory. That'd be nice because I had 3 wood in.
How ridiculous is that?
Yeah, it's nuts.
You're one of his peers. You're out there
Yep.
on tour. You're watching a guy go, I think he went 334.
That was the average this past
334, 221, driver, 7-iron to 26 feet.
Made
To
it.
try and
Yeah,
close
roll it in
out
like it's nothing.
a tournament. Like, what are you thinking when you're seeing that?
Yeah, it's just so different. It kind of reminds me, I wasn't really that conscious at the age, but back when Tiger was dominating and hitting it past everyone and driving greens, what comes to mind to me is when Tiger drove the green. I think it was the WGC match play against Stephen Ames and closed him out in like 11 or 12 holes. Like, when I see Rory do that, I think about like the old Tiger doing that, and maybe even Bryson DeChambeau, how he was getting longer and starting to dominate a little bit in some of the majors. You look at the U.S. Open last year, so it's just different, and that's something that I'm going to continue to have to compete with these kids coming out of college because they're bombing it too. But yeah, I'm just trying to feel better, feel stronger, maybe hit it further, and just. I got to be in better shape to play 35 weeks every single year on tour. I feel like you can only do that so long without having to have trainers and PTs in your life. So, yeah.
Any interactions with the cat? You brought up Tiger Woods. You're a little bit too young for his peak. Have you ever come across him out there on the golf course? I know he's only been around for a couple tournaments that you've probably been at.
Yeah, I haven't actually ever spoken to Tiger. I've seen him in a few events. I've seen him at the Hero.
Yeah.
I've gone and played the Pro-Am there the last couple of years, even though I wasn't in the field. So I've seen him around. It's a different feeling when you see Tiger walk into the room than Scotty Scheffler, unfortunately, even though Scotty Scheffler's doing almost Tiger-like things right now. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy growing up watching a lot of these guys play really good golf and now being beside him, competing against him, and hopefully having success against them, this week and moving forward.
Totally, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you've come here to the DraftKings, the DraftKings Sportsbook. Amazing live show here. A lot of people excited for this week, and we don't want to take too much time from you. You got a big week here. This is it. You got hundreds of thousands of people here to watch you get a ball on a hole. We tried to do it yesterday in a Pro-Am with
really
100
hard.
people around. I was puking before my first tee shot, so I
was
can't
tough.
even imagine. For me, I think I'm ready to let this guy get home and get some rest.
I think so. He's got business deals to make.
I got to
He's
look
got
at
a
some
lot
P&Ls.
That's right. You got other things to do. We
Yeah,
appreciate you joining
we
us.
got some numbers to shift around. We got some money to make. Ben Griffin,
it's all
we
fun.
really appreciate the time, man.
Yeah.
This is a busy week for you. We really thank you for taking the time, coming up here, talking with us idiots about this game that we love. And we'll see you out there, man. Can we get a round of applause for
Ben Griffin.
Thank you, guys.
An amazing story on PGA Tour.
Thank you.
We'll all be rooting for you this week, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Can't wait for you to get in the W.
Thank you very much.
When you find yourself stressing out over golf due to anything, any issues that may arise, any frustrations that may arise, Fireball Whiskey is there to help. The Fireball 50 milliliter shooters, they are the perfect shot for the golf course. Sneak a bunch in your bag. They're ready to go whenever you need them. Plus, no shot glass or chaser needed. Just crack it, knock it back. You are good to go. Fireball's iconic cinnamon flavor tastes fire, goes down easy, making it the ultimate crowd pleaser.
The best, the absolute best. We always have it stocked on us on the golf course. There's really no other way to play the game of golf for me at this point. Make a birdie, you rip that nip, and you have that Fireball. Oh, it's so good going down, that little burn, that cinnamon flavor. It reminds me of birdies in the holidays, which is just a good feeling to have going down the gullet.
That's really nice.
It is.
Those are two good things.
In January, in the dead cold of the winter, having that nice Fireball going down that gullet in February, like that, just that barren wasteland of a month.
It's a vibe changer.
It's a vibe changer, man.
If you're really feeling like upping the ante this weekend, whether it's for the football game, whether it's on the golf course, whether you're out here maybe going to the WM Phoenix Open, make sure to grab the new Fireball Birdie Shot Club. It is literally a golf club filled with Fireball nips. The Fireball 50 milliliter shooters, they are perfect for the golf course and for any occasion.
We have some very special guests in attendance today. They're called Bob Does Sports. They're right here in the first row here. We'd love for you guys to come up here.
Get on up here.
Come on up.
Come on.
DraftKings, we're brethren in the DraftKings Sportsbook arms.
We
just kind of
choose your own adventure
jump
on
over
getting
it.
up here.
They're
You want me to hold
studios
that?
upstairs.
We did a jump.
Come on.
We got Robbie Berger,
FP's
Joey
got it.
Colcutt,
FP's got it.
and Fat Perez.
Take a
He's
seat.
got it. You're
Bob
good. You're
Does Sports.
good.
We
Give
only
it
got
up for the
4 mics.
boys.
Yeah, give it up for the fellas. We only got 4 mics, so we're going to have to kind of...
I don't want to
maneuver
take your
our way
mic, Beef.
Yeah, come on. Me and Beef
I
can
don't
share.
want
Look at
to.
this. Beef's nice
How's
and
that
comfy.
feel, taking Beef's mic?
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I mean, Beef, you deserve a mic. All right, fair enough. Thanks for having us, boys.
Absolutely. Fellas, we go way back, and it's great to see just where this has all come to, It's just a bunch of guys on a couch here at DraftKings Sportsbook during Waste Management Phoenix Open. Think about where we were when we were doing that first video in L.A., or wherever the hell that was.
You guys are Quail Lodge.
Quail Lodge.
Yeah, you guys are responsible for blowing Fat Perez up. Like, that really was Perez's coming out party.
Fried foods
he had a private
and fore-play
Instagram.
pod. That's what blew me up.
Did you?
dude.
He had a private
He had a
IG?
I remember the conversation at dinner that night. I think we were talking about getting your Instagram public. We were like, who is this guy? Who is this
tough.
weapon that you're about to unleash on the world?
Yeah, I just was there to have a good time.
He almost didn't
That'd be
make
a cool
it.
story, and then
Remember,
here
he
we
almost
are.
didn't make it to
Oh,
play.
that's
the
right.
morning Bob had to wake him up because he was getting into it with Riggsy the night before, and
Hey,
he
we
was
took
hammered.
it deep that night, man.
We were out of booze. The only booze we could find was warm IPA tall boys in the lobby, which I'm pretty sure we stole and reported ourselves the next day on. Yeah, I mean, you guys were having steak flights, and I was having beer flights.
We did have steak flights.
We're not the
Bob
same.
missed that dinner because you were under the weather, which is just so disappointing in my eyes because I know that nobody loves a big group dinner more than Robert Berger. There's no one on the planet that loves that stuff more than you.
You knew how much that crushed me. Like, we were looking forward to the golf, but that to me was like the main event. And then I'm wondering, you're kind of hoping that they're not having that good of a time because you're not there. And then I think you sent me a video of Cutsy singing Tennessee whiskey at the table, and I was like, "Fuck! I know I missed something
having
good."
such a good time.
Yeah, you guys were having a ball.
So, you kind of bring it all full circle. We're talking about the first time we kind of met out there, and we're just a bunch of guys trying to make it in the secondary media world, trying to bring a different voice to the game of golf. And all of a sudden, this rocket ship of Bob Does Sports explodes. You guys find your lane. You've got crazy amounts of fans, and all your videos are crushing. What has it been like for you guys? Because for us, it's been awesome to watch you just kind of blossom into your own just huge brand, your brand. I guess for us, we didn't get to really see, because we were living in it. You get merch in the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and you're like, all right, that's cool. And now we get to watch, you guys, started with one rack of hats last year, and now you've got 4 or 5 racks right next to ours. It's holy shit, we're watching exactly what just happened. This is fucking awesome. You guys are on this rise, and it can't be stopped.
It's pretty cool. Last year was the first year we had any merch at the tent. And we were excited, and I was saying this to Riggs earlier, we go out, we're like, oh, where's our hats? And there was all the way in the back of the merch tent. You couldn't even see, there was no sign. I think the hats sold out in an hour or 2 hours because there was hardly any of them. So we're like, all right, well, at least we had our foot in the door, right? But now this year we got a lot more stuff. We got an awesome drop. The hats are everywhere.
Right
and
when you
it's
walk in.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's it's just a testament to just being present and continuing to see YouTube golf growing and growing alongside the PGA Tour and, kind of interconnecting. It's really, really cool. So for us, it's kind of a pinch me moment, but I think the whole thing is to your testament, a pinch me moment because it's just kind of taken off to a level that we really couldn't have foreseen at the beginning of this.
Right, you would say it's different when you're watching it from afar, right? Because when you're in it, you don't feel it. But now all of a sudden you're seeing it. It's like these guys are just like, when you're watching someone, especially we know you guys so well, we care about you guys, we love your content. It's like you're watching every single milestone you hit, and then you just go through. Is that Shooter?
Shooter. That's Shooter.
Sorry, guys.
That's
It's
Shooter.
just one of those
That is
things. It's like conversations happening.
Totally
Fantastic.
get it. That I get.
Shooter's just giving someone the
Talk
guns
about-
out there, doesn't hear a word. We're going through the mic, doesn't hear a word we're saying. Turns his back to us. Unbelievable. But,
Talk about pinch me moments,
Pinch me
right?
moments.
Oh, my God.
Frankie,
This
if
is
you told us
crazy.
to get off the stage right now,
He's
I
out.
totally
He's
would
out. And he's
understand.
out.
He's gone.
Yeah, it was-
Thanks for stopping by, Shooter. That was good. That was really
But yeah, I
good.
mean, what you're saying, like we don't know what we're doing. Like it's not like you're sitting here and you're like trying to do this with these goals. It's such a, you guys have been in the space for almost like first to market. You guys have been here, set like the if there's any framework for this, you guys have said it. Rick Shields has said it, right? But we don't even know, like, hey, we want to. You didn't even know you were building a golf channel when you started Bob Does Sports. Right. When Joe left his job to go with Bob, I mean, it was sort of golf, but it wasn't totally a thing. They could have gotten into a bunch of stuff. So it's like you don't really know when you're in the mix of it, right? You're just sort of the next best video, the next best guest, the next best trip. And then, yeah, you someone asks you and you sort of like, take yourself out of it and think about it. It is pretty wild, but there's no finish line, right? Like, look at you guys. You guys have been doing this for as long as anybody and still up here with the live show with awesome merch, great guests, incredible, brand sponsors. Like you're trying to make the next best video, and it's a wild thing. It really is.
Bob, when did you know you had it? Because in the beginning, you were doing different things. You were reffing. You were doing all the sports. When did you know it's like golf, 100%, we're running for it?
I think one of the big things when we started doing the golf was we realized how much easier it was to get videos out with the golf concept, because we were able to do 9 to 9 and have 2 videos. Like originally we were going to be going stadium to stadium, like man on the street stuff. And we were doing it like we went to the World Series and we went to Ole Miss. We weren't able to maintain that and get a video out every single week. So we tried to do the golf stuff, saw how that was working. So it was doing better than the other stuff we were putting out. But then the video where me and Jet talked to each other the night before about pranking him instead of going to Torrey Pines. Yeah, that to see that.
YouTube at its finest, that video. Thumbnail, the title, the reactions. I watched it with my dad the other day because we were going through YouTube and we're like we're looking at all the numbers and he's like, he doesn't understand. He's like, it's all the same. He's like, he's looking at it. He's like, how do you guys even know what you're going to do next week? He's like, look at it. And I'm like, that one popped up. I'm like, this is the difference. That video. Great idea, unique. I'm pranking my friend into thinking he's playing Torrey Pines, but I'm taking him to the worst golf course in America. And he had no idea. His reaction's like, what the fuck is this? That's lightning in a bottle.
The best part, my favorite part about it all, like, we had planned for it, but I remember like at the end of me and Jeff talking about it, I said to him, I was like, there is a chance, because when you go into the car with Joe, he'll fall asleep like that. So him falling asleep on the way to the course was just the cherry on top. To where it was
it wouldn't have worked. You were banking your whole video on him falling asleep.
Yeah, but also at the same time too, I knew directionally like he probably wouldn't know where, like how far it was or anything like that.
No way he would know that.
Correct. But then at the same time, too,
No offense.
we even said, okay, even if he does figure out, so be it, we'll keep going. But then when he fell asleep, but like I lived in the YouTube studio, like after we would drop a video, and it was taking a while to really get it going. And then I just had never seen like that slow burn where it starts out and then it keeps cranking and cranking. So he wasn't thrilled. But plus he was working all the time, too. So it was like his day off that really enjoyed. So
Perfect.
Yeah, but that was like a huge, huge moment. And then FP, took it to another level.
I'm just happy to be here, guys. Thank you.
This week, what do you guys have on the docket? We're all hitting that shot on 16 tomorrow. What are the thoughts about hitting a golf shot on 16 in front of, I think, 70,000 people? All of us are attempting it, right? You guys are all three. You guys are going doing it?
Yeah, we did it last year, and we all threw root bands on and like tracked kind of how we all felt.
Heart rate through the roof?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very unique setting, obviously, extremely unique setting, but like you run the same thing with the Creator Classic and the Q and stuff. It's like at least for me personally, and this is just how you lie to yourself to keep your heart rate down. But like, I'm like, if I'm going to do anything in front of a bunch of people, what would it be? And like, it's hit a golf ball, right? So it's like, all right, well, I'm going to do like what I would pick to do.
Right.
And I find a little like minute level of like comfort in that.
We've actually had that.
Not so
debate
much
before.
for us.
No, you hit the rock last year. You sculled one in front
I
of Nick
skull
Saban. You almost took
fucked
out
one
of the best
so
head
bad.
coaches
It was
of all time.
Yeah, I was talking to Saban and I was asking him what he was going to hit. And then like they called me up and I was not ready for it. And they had like that Kelly James guy like freestyling as I'm about to hit and people are jeering me. I think it's worse when people are expecting you to hit a bad shot before you do hit a bad shot because you know it's coming and you just can't really do much about it. And yeah, that's what they got. And you know what? Tomorrow we might be having deja vu. I don't know.
No, there's mental gymnastics you can play to make sure that you hit a good golf shot tomorrow. We have this guy, Dr. Brett McCabe, that's helped me think of certain things. And for me, it's you might think that the whole entire 16th tee, 70,000 people are like, Joey's going to hit a bad shot here. And you're thinking to yourself, they're just waiting for me to hit a bad shot. Tomorrow, you say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show off tomorrow. Show off a little bit. Get cocky when you go up to that tee.
Maybe I'll just like hit a hole in one for you, Frank.
What I can do. Put it in the hole.
By the way, could you imagine if somebody hit a hole in one?
Is this the same guy that had you drooling when you were hitting pitch shots? Is this the guy we're talking about? The guy that you unlocked your jaw for?
I brought
with
that to him.
the
He shut
chipping?
it down immediately. I brought that outside information to him. He shut it down immediately. He wasn't very fond of that.
But in credit to your game, though, and
we're finding something.
We do need. I mean, we do need we're pretty much 1-1 because I don't count the par 3 course we played on. We're not going to count. But as far as Bob Sports first fore-play, it's 1-1. We need the rematch. Your game is good, and you killed us.
It's up and down. It's up and down.
Last year, so we do need that. But yeah, but I will say for the shot, Joe went up before me. I was so nervous. So when Joe went up, sculled it, hits the rock, goes up. For me, it was the biggest breath of fresh air because I was like, all right, I needed that so bad. But yeah, I get so nervous for it that you just want the shot to be over. But I'll definitely take that for sure.
You say if you had to do one thing, it'd be hit a golf shot. So we always have those debates on this podcast where it's like, would you rather? And so for me, that brings up, you have $10 million on the line or 1 year in prison. Are you picking a 5-foot putt or are you picking a free throw? Are you picking you got to throw a strike from the mound? What's like your number one go-to that you think that you can absolutely nail that you're going to take that bet?
Out of what you just mentioned? I mean, I guess a 5-footer, right? I mean, I feel like I can...
5-footer, you do the math on that, it's not 100%. It's pretty, isn't it like...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the last time I shot a free throw.
70%?
I mean, I feel like I could make a free throw. I haven't done... I've hit a lot of 5-footers recently, last 2 years. Haven't had many free throw opportunities. And haven't been on the mound since I was 11. So, I mean, if you were like, you're in prison, $10 million, you can walk away, or you hit the green on 16 from like 135, and like I'm hitting the golf. I'm not going to walk off of that. I'm going to hit the shot. I'm going to hit the shot. Yeah.
What about you guys?
I wouldn't take the shot.
Bob, you're going to prison, my man.
Yeah.
Me too, though.
Yeah.
Prison sucks.
Prison. For me, it probably would be throwing a strike.
I think that
makes sense.
Baseball background, and I could see you hitting a good free throw. I think you having a jump shot, though. You know,
Free throw's tough.
But
Ball
yeah,
that on the line.
Probably throwing a strike. It certainly is not anything to do with golf.
No. Do you have any like hidden talent? Cold cuts. Can you kick a field goal? I can see you being like a big foot sports guy. I don't know why.
I played hockey when I was growing up,
That's
so that
right,
was.
you did do that.
I
You
was a
can skate
goalie,
really well.
so maybe take a slap, like stop a slap shot or something like that. I don't know. That was if we're talking about like the things that we mentioned, I would probably take a free throw before anything else. I'm definitely not putting my golf skills to the line to like save me from going to like a prison for a year. Like that's not on the list.
You got to think about the money, Joe. Think about the money, not the jail.
It's what's on the line, man.
I think I would just forego the whole thing. I'm happy with where I'm at. I don't need the $10 million to go to prison as the alternative. I think that's horrifying.
I do.
Something about you, like pirouetting on the ice, that has me. I can't. You guys got to do something.
We talked about maybe doing like a Bob Sports episode with like, the Golden Knights like shooting on me or something with the Canucks.
He was a goalie.
I was a goalie.
Frankie, your inability to picture it is correct. He sat in the net.
You're a goalie?
I was attendee, yeah.
That changes everything.
Some people say it's so on par.
Person.
Yeah.
I could score. The whole thing would be I could score on you many times.
Right now, I think half the world could score on me.
Do you still have your pads?
But back in the day, I played junior hockey. I was a very good goalie. Back in the day, I used to be an athlete. Keyword being used to be.
Next fore-play Bob Does Sports trip, we're baking in a day on the ice. And
I have
we're
not
doing
put
some sort of skills competition.
pads on in
the ice.
years.
I used to play hockey.
We
You
should
used
do
to
it.
play hockey?
Sure did.
I don't even have my pads anymore.
We're doing the whole thing. We're doing 2-on-2 with goaltenders.
I think FP would be pretty skilled.
We've got a goalie right here. He's never. This guy's gonna be a problem between the pipes.
That's our goalie, by the way.
I've played hockey before, boys.
There you go.
Just never in goal.
That's our
I'm
goalie.
sure I
You guys
take up
didn't know
most of the
that.
net.
New announcement.
I don't even have my pads anymore. They're back in Canada, so we'll figure it
find
out
those
though.
pads.
I think it would be hysterical.
Oh, I would love that.
I was talking to the one that they always talk about, like going back to if you could do like 5-foot or stuff like that. I was asking Wesley Bryan the thing with like the Masters. If one of us started on the green, would we be able to win a tournament? He said that one for sure we would be able to win, like the Masters on the putting. He said that one. So I find it hard to believe.
Feels like the opposite.
He thinks for sure that if guys like us started on the green during the Masters putting with them starting on the tee, he said no doubt about it we would win. I don't necessarily agree. He even thinks from 100 yards out. That's where I was like, there's no. Wesley Bryan was talking about it, but 100 yards out, no way. But he was talking about that with the green because that's a big debate.
I think that if you're starting on the green, you just have so many opportunities, even if you 3-putt, just to bank birdies. And what's the number you really got to get to? Minus 15 over 4 days, Masters, right?
I don't think I would do it. He assured me that like guys like us would.
He
assured me because I didn't believe it.
It's weird he would pick Augusta, though, with those greens.
John Rahm, like 4-putt the first hole when he won.
Still a par. It's a par.
That's a par.
That's a par. You got a 5-putt to make both.
You win by $1 million.
Yeah, you got like.
That's a par.
But like for the Augusta, it would seem like one of the harder green, golf courses. So, if anywhere, like you could go do it out here, that wouldn't be a big deal. But like, I feel like 100 yards in.
You see it though, like
I don't know.
When we did that shot at Glory, I think the yardage last year maybe like 120, 130 maybe, but like you put all those people in there, nobody was hitting the green. Where like if those people are that amount of people that come
You're
through,
so uncomfortable.
Oh, it's insane.
You know what the worst part maybe of that whole thing was last year? And I mean, it's just like a personal thing, but like they've got the grandstands. Like Coach Saban goes up, and they've got like the screen that shows all of Coach Saban's accomplishments, many accomplishments, SEC championships, national championships, NFL coach, and then you get up there and it's blank. Like it's blank, not like member of Bob Does Sports, not like scratch, nothing, zero. You're like, I've done nothing. And they're right. It's not like I'd be like, I was like, damn, like I shouldn't have anything up there, dog. That's tough. Phelps.
Yeah.
Yep, he's got some stuff.
I mean, when you're sitting next to Coach Saban, you're really not going to have.
I got to have one bullet point, dog. Not even like some context for people. Tough.
Well, fellas, it's going to be a great week here. We're excited to have you guys here. We're excited to have some drinks with you, place some bets here at the DraftKings Sportsbook. I think, personally, you want to ask me a question? I think we got to get this music back going here in the DraftKings Sportsbook Lounge, so all these people here that are here for Waste Management Phoenix Open can start to get that party aspect back into their bloodstream here. You know what I mean? It's a party. It's the biggest party. You can feel it. Yeah, he can feel it. There we go. We got our DJ there. It's a party. It's the biggest party on the PGA Tour. I want to personally thank the DraftKings Sportsbook for having us here. It's insane that you have a bunch of just idiots just talking to, a lot of people about the game of golf
So
that we
dumb.
love. We're morons.
So dumb, dude.
Thank you to Ben Griffin. Thank you to you guys, Barstool Sports. Anybody else have anything else before we close this thing out?
Riggs, you got something for us?
I think we had a great conversation.
Appreciate you, boys.
Riggsy's been loving the Phoenix Open already. It's only Tuesday, but you've been hitting it hard.
I mean, I've had a great time. I don't think that's a surprise.
No, that's it. Bob?
Appreciate you, boys. As always, thanks for having us. That rematch definitely has to be in store.
Near future.
Yeah, we'll get that going. And the hockey
Placid
match,
week?
too. Yeah,
Lake Placid week with Bob
yeah,
Sports?
yeah. Fore-play, Bob Sports, Lake Placid.
Just
Lake
Olympics,
Placid.
all Olympics.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking awesome.
Wow. Fellas, really want to thank you guys. Thank you, everybody, for sitting through our mumbo jumbo, just talking about nothing. And have a great week. Everybody have a great week at the Waste Management. We'll see you out there. See you on 16 tomorrow.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.